Right, but Facebook, I've seen a few folks. Like I said, Mount Diablo opened up. I've seen Derek, the Green Donkey, up there working it quite a bit over the last week or so and making a lot of contacts. For 2 Meter Crew planned events, we've been talking about trying to get together and go to a shooting range. Shooting ranges are starting to open up. We're looking at some dates, probably be late July or August. And so we're looking for weekends right now, but look for that. A day to get out in the range, probably be up around Ione, and we'll do a little radio work on the way in and out. Let's see, Jason, do you have any updates from our live stream?
Other than being a rookie over here, I was doing some OBS testing, I don't know, a couple days ago, and I wanted to hear, I was messing around with the monitor anyways. I could see the audio thing flicker, and no sound was coming out. So thank you everyone for letting me know. And nothing right now. We got some people checking in saying hello. We'll talk about field day here in a little bit. KM6FAK.
Yep, thank you, sir. And you know we're all amateurs here, just trying to make this thing happen every week. So you do a phenomenal job, Jason. No problems there. Let's see, did we have any other 2 Meter Crew planned events anybody wanted to bring up? We're going to talk a bit about field day coming up here. It's probably going to be our topic. We'll do a round table, just a check-in. And as I take you guys and check in, let us know what you're doing for field day. And then we may do a question and answer topic after that. If you have any questions about field day or some of the new rules for this year, I'm sure we got a few folks here that could answer those. So that's what we'll be doing, is cycling through for check-ins. Let us know what you're doing for field day or any other info or updates you have for us. Then we'll do a Q&A for field day. All right, hang on 1 second. I'm getting my net logger up. There it is. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to go through and take some check-ins in. Like I said, come slowly. Let me make sure I get your call sign down right, and then let us know what you're doing for field day.
November, Quebec 6 Oscar.
Any check-ins?
Kilo India 6 uniform, Juliet Hotel.
Hey, Doug, I believe that's you, KI6UJH. How are you doing? And what are you doing for field day?
More, it's great. Check it out. And for field day, I'm probably going to go up Mount Diablo, and then I thought maybe I'd swing over to this thing over in Vallejo just to say hi. KI6UJH, back to net control.
You mean Fairfield, right, Doug?
Yeah, Fairfield. I'd have to do my homework before I actually hit the road going there, but yeah.
All right, we'd love to have you.
All right, thanks for the check-in, Doug. Who else is checking in?
November, Quebec 6 Oscar.
Q60, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well. My field day participation, I will be over at with the group there on Saturday.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to try to make it down there myself. Hang out for the day and see what everybody's up to and all the interesting setups they have. Who else is checking in?
Hello, this is Kilo, November 6th, Victor, November, Quebec.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good evening to you and to the rest of the net. KM6VNQ. Of course, I think I mentioned to you, but I am planning on going to the local community center, where they've got a wide open field right next to them. It's just kind of a no man's land, so I'll throw an antenna in the middle of that. Bring the girlfriend out. She will do the voice, play on 20 and 40. She'll do the contacts, and I'll do the logging. I don't think she knows that yet, but oh well. Back to net, KN6 for the NW.
Sounds like a good time. Get that new radio out and give it a workout. Who else is checking in tonight?
VA6, GKT. That's the Delta 6 Golf Kilo Tango. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I've been working around the house. For field day, I'll be moving, so I'm hoping to sneak in a couple of days early, hook up my HF rig, so in the evenings I can play a little radio. But
I think this guy's in a stadium.
At the moment.
Yes.
Well, hopefully you can find a minute in there to jump on. It'll be fun and definitely be a whole bunch of folks up on the air and locally right here from Fairfield. So good luck with that. Hopefully you find a minute to jump on. Who else is checking in? Nobody else wants to check in with us this evening. I see a bunch on NetLogger. I may have to go through there and start calling people out. But anybody on EchoLink or other that would like to check in?
AM6 ZTH.
ZTH, how you doing, Justin?
Got a bad loop.
Yeah, we're getting a little echo there. A couple of too many things opened up or something.
It's not me.
It's not me this time.
Me either.
All right, we'll see who else is checking in, and I'll circle back to Justin there. Anybody else checking in this evening? Let us know what you're doing.
Whiskey 6 Bravo Kilo Mike Bill up in Auburn.
W6 BKM, how are you doing? And what's your plans for field day?
Doing well, just playing with a new radio and antenna. For field day, our local club is doing everything from home, so I'm considering coming down to Fairfield and meeting everybody in person.
That would be good. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of folks working from home this year also, and that's all good too. But yeah, if you feel up to it, swing down Fairfield Way. It'd be good to see everybody. What new radio and antenna are you working on?
I've got a brand new 991A and a
All right.
Diamond
choice.
30XA mounted about 20 feet up on my chimney.
Those radios.
Well, it sounds great. I see that 991A Persuasion is out there. Boy, there's a lot of folks picking up that radio, and everybody seems to be loving it, so good choice there. Anybody else checking in this evening?
KN6 HTV, Doug in Vacaville.
Was that Kilo Mike or Kilo Nebraska?
Kilo November.
Or November. Thanks, Doug, and what are you up to?
Oh, just been working a little HF and looking forward to field day. I'll be in Fairfield, coming down to see all you pros and see how it's done.
Where's he going?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to see.
Where the pros are.
a lot of the folks who actually know what they're doing, so I can watch them operate and see their
find
setups
some.
and learn. Well, hopefully I'll see you down there. Anybody else checking in?
KI5JFN. This is Brett in Texas.
KI5JFN in Texas. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. I was messing with this DMR, trying to get this radio straightened out. I think I finally got it. Still learning.
Yeah, you're sounding nice and clear right now. What do you got any plans for field day? What are you going to be up to?
I don't know. I'll probably just be listening. I've only had my license for about 3 weeks now, so I'm
All right.
trying to learn.
That's awesome.
Oh, well, that's cool, and congratulations on that. Yeah, there'll be a lot of activity, a lot to listen to on field day. So that ought to be fun. Did you just have your technician, or did you get your general?
I have my tech right now, but I'm studying already for the general. Hoping to take it probably the end of July. I've got a lot of work going on right now.
Ah, well, good deal. Yeah, well, good luck on field day. Hopefully you can get up on the air and make some good contacts and do a little talking. This is W6CRP. Anybody else checking in for tonight?
I got a comment for the Texas station.
KN6 GPS. This is Marcus in Vallejo.
Marcus, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
I heard you, Kevin.
Are you getting about for field day or operating from home?
I might get out there. As the previous caller said, it'd be nice to get out and see how the pros do it.
I think there's going to be a bunch of them up there in Fairfield.
Where exactly in Fairfield will you be?
I can let them know that. So you're going to just want to look up the call, N6VLF. November 6 VLF. It's actually at his QTH, but we do also appear in the ARRL's locator. So if you go to their website, you will see, well, there's not a whole lot here in the Northern California, kind of where we're at. So when I checked about a week ago, we had about a good 40 or so mile radius, and I didn't see any other pin drops. But again, it's up to the individual and club to do that, so I'm sure there's going to be other activity as well. I'm just a little biased.
Many thanks for that. I just may come out. Thank you.
All right, very cool. Hey, Carlos, Kevin had a comment, so let me kick it to Kevin. Kevin, you want to go across Zoom, I take it?
Oh, sure. I don't have to mute the audio here.
But
I just want to make a comment for the Texas station. If you live in the Fort Worth area, I think, Carlos, did he say he lived in the Fort Worth area in Texas?
You know, I'm
I
not
can't hear you,
sure.
Carlos.
I
Just
recall
nod.
KI5JFN. Are you still there listening?
It's digital, so...
JFN. Yeah, this is Brett. I'm in Corinth, Texas. I am just south of Denton, just north of Louisville. So I know where Fort Worth is.
Okay, I was just going to let you know, in the Fort Worth area, there's 2 radio clubs. My son, his call is W5, Victor Lima Foxtrot, and he tries to attend them. There's a couple of them. One of them is pretty good sized. Just Google field day in the Fort Worth area, and you'll find out where it's at. And the visitors are welcome. I've actually talked to my son and a couple of other operators from the Fort Worth area at their field day location to our field day location. Well, once for sure, maybe twice. Anyways, there's places for you to go, and they'll welcome you in if you choose to do so. So I'll let you know.
I appreciate that. I'll check them out for sure. KA5, JFA.
Yeah, thank you for that, Kevin. And where were we? Still taking check-ins. Anybody else checking in with us tonight?
Kilo Alpha 6, Yankee Lima Alpha.
A6, YLA, how are you this evening?
Good, starting to cool off, so I appreciate that. Starting to thinking about field day, and I'm assuming that I'm going to do a 1D and do the commercial power from home.
Yep, that sounds good. Might as well take advantage of it this year because one of the rule changes is you can contact other 1Ds. So that'll be fun with folks that want to stay at home and give you a little more activity. I think Jason will probably talk to us about that in a few minutes. Anything else new you want to share?
Well, I have been listening and hoping that you would identify the club that you are taking the check-ins for, and I didn't hear you, so I wasn't sure whether this was the 2-meter crew or not.
Yeah, I'm terrible about that. Sorry. Yes, this is the 2-meter crew anti-net, and this is W6CRP coordinating the anti-net for tonight. So thank you for checking in, Kayla. And who else is checking in with us tonight?
Hi, this is KN6, GFT, Sandy from Pleasant Hill. How are you guys tonight?
Sandy, we're doing good. And how are you? And what are your plans for field day?
Turn down YouTube a little bit.
I will be in Fairfield, so I'll see you guys there.
Oh, that's the 3-3.
Very good. It'll be fun. I've met quite a few of the Back Valley folks and 2-meter crew.
Hey, Jason, did you see the comment about an email address? Oh,
so there's a lot of new folks we haven't been able to meet, so I think field day is going to be kind of good for that, the social part, putting a face to the call sign. So good. Hopefully I'll see you there.
I look forward to it, guys. You guys have a good night. KN6 GFT.
Who else is checking in tonight?
N6 Sierra Mike Hotel, N6 SMH from Roseville checking in.
SMH, how are you tonight?
Doing good. I already checked myself in onto the log there, but anyways, doing good. Staying cool.
I saw that, and thank you for checking yourself in there. And do you have any plans for field day?
I'm just trying to look up the date right now to see if there's if that's something that's open and able. I'm trying to look for it on the website and other places.
It is the 27th and 28th of June, and how they do that is it's the fourth full weekend of June. So, boy, tell your lovely ladies, don't ever book me for anything on the fourth weekend of June.
It's going to be tough. That's like her birthday weekend.
Oh, now. Well, it happens.
Gotta get priorities straight.
I think I'm screwed forever here.
Maybe she wants to go to field day for her birthday.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think so. Where's it at? Where's the location on that?
Yeah, that's here in Fairfield. So it's going to be at N6 VLFs, November 6th, very low frequency, QTH.
So if you look him up on QRZ, I think he has the address and everything there for you.
What do you call that? The Discord?
Go again, a little bit double there.
On the Discord, right? Is that where you have it posted?
Oh yeah. If you're in the Discord, we'll share out the address and what have you. Absolutely. And for those that aren't aware, Discord is a not so popular, very much so private. If I'm saying that right. It's another social media platform, but we really just stick to ham radio, guns, and laughs. We try not to drag anything else in there, but it's a good way to keep in touch with the 2 Meter crew and ham radio TV. If you look at the description in this video, there should be a link. If you have problems, email me. I'm good on QRZ, but it's my call, cam6fak at arl.net. I'll make sure you get in there.
Your other option is if you go to QRZ and look up N6 VLF. It should have the address and info there. It'll be at his QTH.
It's at my house?
Yes, Kevin.
Oh.
Hope you don't mind.
We're going to let you know.
All right, anybody else checking in?
Okay.
KM6QOG, Phil Vacaville. Hey, Carlos. Looks like I got to get in my humidor, the big old cigar you have. As far as field day, change plans, would like to make it. May not, but possible. And looks like you have a coolie there, too, there. I don't know what Jason's drinking. It's hidden.
Nobody ever knows.
It's a prerequisite when I'm coordinating an adult beverage and something nice from Nicaragua.
Whoa.
Yeah, hopefully you make it. We'll see you there. Anybody else checking in?
N6 ETR.
KN6 ETR, how are you doing?
I'm back. Hello there again.
Michael, you're jamming.
Doing all right, thank you. Hello to everybody.
Station, try it again. You fell out there.
Turn down my YouTube audio and switch up the radio audio. Yeah, as far as field day, well, that's the same day as me and my wife's 33rd anniversary of marriage. So we'll probably do a little day trip on part of my week off from work, staycation, and but I might swing on by Davis Ranch or a fellow ham, AI6DG. Joel's going to be manning the North Hills Club field day over Davis Ranch over in Slough House near Rancho Murrieta. Hopefully it'll work out for everybody. Hope you guys have fun too that day. I'll be listening in. Hey, by the way, quickly, are you guys going to be doing any 2 meter simplex work at all?
We're going to work every band that is legal.
All right, Jason, all things ham. Gotta love that too. Well, I'll be monitoring you guys, and I'll probably check see how Joel's doing, my fellow ham friend. So you guys have a good field day, and we'll talk to you later. KN6BXX. Great video, guys. Great YouTube channel. Keep it up.
All right, thanks for checking in, Michael. And I had a KN6 ETR there. You guys are kind of doubling up a little bit, so come now.
Thanks. Hello, everybody on the net. KN6 ETR. This is Dan out of Vacaville. Over.
Hey, welcome, Dan.
Yes, welcome,
Dan.
Dan.
What are your plans for field day?
Well, unfortunately, I won't make it this year. I've got a patio cover on my house that I plan to roof. But in my off time, I'm going to try to hit up 20 meters and maybe talk to somebody for field day. Over.
You know, it's not going to rain until October, September. I think the roof can wait. Just saying.
Yeah.
You strike a great point, but my old man's my assistant, and I got to get him while he's committed. Otherwise, he might change his mind. Over.
No problem. Well, you're so darn close. You could always just come say hello in the evening time if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
appreciate the invite. I'll consider that. Thank you. Back to the net. KN6ETR.
Yeah, thanks for checking in, Dan. Good luck on the roof, and I do understand that free labor thing, you got to take advantage of that when it's offered. Anybody else checking in? All right, we can swing back around, take some late check-ins later, but YouTube, any updates from our live feed there, Jason?
I don't have any updates. Looks like we're letting a handful of people know about Field Day. That's always really exciting. I did want to share this. Oh, let me click this. I'm not quite ready to share my activities here. Yeah, let me know here in a little bit. I'll be ready to talk about Field Day stuff. KM6FAK.
Yeah, no rush. I was just looking for an update from there. And Chris has got our net logger up and going, and actually looked like quite a few people pre-logged themselves in, which was kind of nice. Chris, how many folks we got, and how are you looking over there?
N6CMB, Chris and Clayton. Looking good. I've got between YouTube and those that called out or logged themselves in 29 tonight. And we've got some new folks between the login. N6QO, Fred in El Dorado Hills. I either didn't have him or he's a new check-in. K6CWS, KF5, JFN. We talked to Brett in Denton, Texas. KN6GTS, Marcus and Vallejo. I think Marcus has been on here before, and somehow I've missed his call, but we got him now. And then I think Dan, KN6ETR. It's the first time I've caught his call on the login. So adding those guys in, those new ones, we're going to be pushing well past 151 unique check-ins and approaching 160 now.
Very good. And K6CWS, that's Cliff from Back Valley Radio Club. He's checked in with us a few times, and I punched that one in there. He asked for a courtesy check-in just a little earlier when I was talking to him. Alrighty. Let's see. We'll give Jason another minute. If I slide over there, I can probably see what he's doing on the live feed. How about our northern brother, Nick, up there at the Northwest Ham Shack? How are you doing?
Hey, what's happening, Carlos? KN6DAL. Yeah, I'm just hanging out.
I kind of got into soda here last weekend, and I got the opportunity to hike a little peak with my daughters. I posted a video on that. I think a few of you saw it. That was pretty fun. And then I plan on, for Field Day, I'm going to try to hike another peak, and then I'm going to maybe set up something portable there out of my truck, or I might just operate from home depending on what we have going on. But one way or another, I'm going to try to make contact with you guys down there, and I'm going to log all my points with the Vac Valley Radio Club, so see how many we can get. But that's all I got. Back to you. Thanks for doing the anti-net tonight, Carlos. KN6DAL.
Yeah, no problem. And if you guys haven't went on the Northwest Ham Shack and looked at that video with his two young daughters on the hike and acting as his camera woman and crew, it is phenomenal. You've got to go check that out and see the future of ham radio coming up right there. Great job, Nick. Very well done. And this is the 2-meter crew anti-net, W6CRP coordinating for tonight. Let me see, he's getting a drink right now, so I'll catch him. KM6ZTH, we had a little problem connecting early on, but you were going to check in.
Let's see if we can do this without feeding back this time, and I think we can. So this year for Field Day, I'm working with my local Benicia club. We're going to be more likely a bunch of D1s, and but we're we're going to put in that special thing that you can do and put in a club call when you submit your logs. So we'll see what we get out of all that fun jazz, and we may do some other coordination on a repeater and trying to bring people together, but mostly we just want to get everybody out on the air.
Yeah, it sounds good, and I think that's going to add a lot of fun to it this year for the folks still sheltering in place to be able to still coordinate and work together as a club and try to get some points. So I think that was a good idea by the ARL. All right, Jason, how we doing? You about ready to go into your field day Q&A?
Yes. Yes. Let me switch some buttons here. All right. Alrighty, so let me minimize Justin here. And let me start off with this. This was kind of interesting. I put this out this morning. I was curious of who is working field day 2020. Oh, you know what? Let me get myself over to the other side. Woot. So 22 votes, which was fairly decent. 23% said they are going to their club's field day. 5% say they're going to work their club's field day, but from home. So they're going to do that special exemption. Working your own field day, that gets 41%. So in other words, maybe them and a few others are sitting out to work their own field day. And then this is a little concerning. I got 32% out of 22 votes. What is field day? Gosh, I feel like, we're all letting these 32%ers down. But anyway, so we'll have to help them out. The other kind of something fun is this, which I have a bigger picture. Let me pull that up right here. So this, does anyone know what these are? I would not. I don't expect anyone to know what these are. This obviously are amateur radio bands, ham bands, and they're on 10-inch frisbees. So for reference here, I have some in my hand. These are regular 10-inch frisbees. Oh, look at that. That one's green. And then I got some somewhat reflective mailbox numbers. And if you don't have the band B, you don't talk on the band. And so what I've seen in past years is you make a schedule, you line everything up, but then people will want to break into conversations. People will want to, try this, try that, maybe tune up over here. They're kind of curious. So it never fails. A few people will start, they're on the same HF band, which is definitely a problem. And so anyway, honestly, it just kind of came out of me out of the blue. And so you can see I have all of them. I think I left out, tell me in the comments which one I left out. That'll be a fun test. But the idea is once you have the band B, it's your band to operate. If someone wants it, they can call for it. You can share it. You can chuck it across the campsite. And so yeah, that's kind of something new, and I think it's somewhat fresh. And then if people are curious, maybe you don't live in the area or you're not a part of the club, and this would be the Vaca Valley Radio Club that I'm a part of. And we operate right here on this repeater, Whiskey 6 VVR. People are guessing 70. I had 70. 60. 60, you can't do it. 17 is kind of, that's not considered. No, I'm looking for higher stuff. Anyways, I like the guesses. So here's our field day. I'm blocking a little bit of the key. I guess I can blank myself here. So we're in this field, and what's really neat is we have internet and we have electricity provided for us for miscellaneous things, lights, cooking. I'm going to bring a computer. I plan to live stream. But for the most part, we're going to be a 1 alpha out there as a club. We're going to operate on generator or battery power. And I've kind of put together a parking grid that you can see there. Yeah, there you go. 1.2. Tom, I think you got it there. So that's kind of what's going on with my local field day. We did mention that there is some newer stuff out there, and let me just reiterate real quick for people. Let me reset the repeater. This is KM6FAK with a 2-meter crew. We're live on Facebook. So, absolutely, if you're part of a club, but you can't make it, you're concerned, etc., there's exemptions this year that you can sit at home and operate as a Class D. You can be plugged into the wall. You can enjoy your amplifier. And at that point, you are responsible for your own logs. And that was a kind of a confusing bit when we reviewed things with my local club, in that typically, you write things down on a piece of paper, then one person from the club submits all the logs into ARRL, and it goes from there. So this year, if you're home as a Class D, you're responsible for your own log just like you would be normally, contesting, field day, etc. The only difference is you'll be able to add your club. So our club is Whiskey 6 VVR. And, they're kind of looking for people to use logging software. Now, it's not needed. You can mail or email paper logs into the ARRL. But I think it's a great opportunity, or maybe a perfect year to break out that computer for the first time, or a tablet or an iPhone, and try to do some logging. Now, there is a bit of a catch, where if your logging program hasn't been updated, you want to check to see if it's been updated with these new exemptions, because a lot of logging software does have a contest window tab you can kind of open and select, and you want to make sure that's in there. Now, if it's not, I don't think that's a big deal, because you would then go over to the ARRL website. I'm sure everyone knows what that looks like. I'm trying to select it. I've got a lot of stuff on the screen there. And essentially, when you export your logging files, it'll be a Calibrio. That word always trips my tongue up. It's a glorified text file, and you can easily go in and edit and put the club's call there. Now, I haven't looked at those particulars yet, but that's the skinny. So I'm going to stop talking and let other people chime in or ask questions, etc. KM6FAK. Nobody wants to talk.
Did we have any questions for Jason, or questions about the new rules for this year?
KN60AL, I'll just chime in really quick and say a couple people had posted in the Facebook or in the YouTube chat about 17 meters, but that's not an approved band, I don't believe, for like contests and field day. So that's why it's not on the frisbees there.
Correct. I actually was looking for the higher frequency stuff. I just didn't the microwave. That's, I think someone said at 1.2, and but we're gonna try 15 and 10. I'm pretty excited about that. Some digital modes.
KM6 DH, you have any recommended logging software?
I do. So if you're in a Mac, I really enjoy RumLog NG. RUM log LOG NG November Golf. Great piece of software. It's free. They also have an app on the phone, being Apple or tablet. That does cost $4 or $5. Of course, you have Ham Radio Deluxe. You do have to pay for it. But recently, I started experimenting with Log4 OM. And I don't know if they're implying that this is a log for old men. Because and so I'm opening it, and I'm sharing it on my screen. That's very small. I need to fix that. There we go. That's a little bit bigger. And so what I look for in a logging software is, obviously, I want it to be able to track my radio. And you can see there it's tracking my radio. Matter of fact, if I let go, you can see the repeater. So it actually is tracking the repeater as it offsets because I'm keying up. But I like a logging software that you can start putting in someone's log during a contest. It'll start helping and guessing that call. It'll show them on the map. It'll show if you've worked them before. I'm kind of hinted to it connects to your rig and it works well like that. So this is free, Log4 OM, if you are a Windows user.
Thank you for that, sir. Any other questions or comments about field day? What are you guys doing? What do you think? Or any questions on how to operate or log?
Yes, it does. People so Dave in the chat said N3FP is also great. I have heard great things. I've also heard great things about N1MM. They just don't have the maps. They don't have the sexiness. You know, I really like to be super confused when I'm looking at something. Kind of nerdy, if you will. But if I don't hear a whole lot of chatter about this right now, but I will say I kind of wanted to show this. Is pretty interesting. Let me drag it here on my big screen. I've been building computers recently. I'm brand new to this, and this price is weird because I did not pay $542. This is a computer I'm in the middle of building. I spent $400. But what's really interesting is these parts come and go like you would not believe, especially with the human malware, what's going on right now. But like I said, I built this computer. It's pretty much start to finish. I have speakers, a keyboard, a monitor, a Wi-Fi power supply, a case, a hard drive, RAM, a motherboard, and a CPU. And I love AMD. You get a lot of bang for the buck. There's no graphics card because something like this, $300, $400, and maybe you already have a keyboard and speakers and monitor, it'd become way cheaper. But it is so easy to build your own PC. It's almost like adult Legos. And, a lot of people might have something old in their shack and they don't like and they curse at it. But there's so much with ham radio and computers, especially utilizing a web SDR and listening to your signal on HF, looking at people on QRZ, obviously hanging out with us here on YouTube. But I do recommend re-looking at possibly building your own computer if you haven't in a while. Maybe you got $300. You can put towards this. And this website I'm on currently is called PCPartPicker.com. PCPartPicker.com. And I don't know if you're I'm in my face is in the way here. Let me move me over here. And I've been building all sorts of things. I built a computer for this purpose right here that I'm using. I built a computer for my other daughter. I even was looking at building a Hackintosh. I don't know if you guys heard of that. Kind of off topic. But you can take a PC parts and make it look like a Macintosh as far as the software. But from what I understand, that becomes a hobby on its own. And I got enough hobbies. Let me take my rubber band off. KM6FAK.
And this is the 2-meter crew anti-net W6CRP. Discussing field day, Q&A, any questions? Roughly, what's your head count look like, Jason, for those that are going to be showing up to the Fairfield site?
I need a foot switch, but my feet can't touch the ground. I'm that short. No, I'm on a drafting chair because my bench is kind of higher and my face is in the way again. What do we got? We got a head count about 36, but just chatting with a few people on and off the air, I think we're probably closer to 40. We could very easily hit 50 total head count coming saying hello. Our goal is to give everyone a hamburger that wants one. That comes out Saturday. We got about 10 operating radios and 9 camping. And, I'm just kind of building this spreadsheet, trying to understand who's who, what bands, because that does get tough, as I mentioned it before. And then I build a chart for everyone to see. And I just started helping organizing last year, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know I don't know why I always get roped into organizing, but I guess I just don't mind it.
Because you're good at it.
Thank you.
And Kevin, are you all ready for these folks to come and occupy?
You want Zoom?
Jason, are you gonna put me on the radio?
You're on the radio.
All right, looks like it. Yeah, I'm ready. I was gonna just suggest everybody who's coming and is gonna camp and bring a radio and participate during the day. A good idea is to check your stuff out, set it up, make sure you got all the right pieces, and bring your rope and your cable. And if you got an extra rope, bring it. You got an extra cable, bring it. If you have an extra coupler, bring it.
Fuses.
You have extra. I guess what I'm getting at, bring what you need, and you have a spare one. Bring it, because somebody's going to forget something, and you're going to have it. So we typically kind of help each other out, save each other, and whatnot. And all you folks out there looking at the YouTube, we got 36 people watching, and I don't know how many people are on the radio. But if you're one of the 40 to 50 plus visitors, come on by. The club is sponsoring the lunch, so we try to get a head count. So if you let us know you're coming by, because we really want to take really good care of you when you're here for on Saturday to hanging out with us. And it's a really great opportunity to meet the club members and check out the gear. We are going to have different radios, different microphones, different antennas, coax cable, audio systems. All kinds of stuff. So it's a really good opportunity to check out the different avenues of ham radio. There'll be analog, digital, CW. Got a couple CW guys. They're going to be sitting there banging away on the key into the wee hours in the morning. So it's a really great opportunity to just come by and visit. If you don't have a radio, you just got your license, and you just want to check it out, come on by.
Now, Kevin, I'm really concerned. I don't see a camper. Where are you sleeping?
Any questions, bring it on. We'll do our best to answer it. And if we don't know the answer, Jason will make something up.
Kevin, I'm concerned. Where are you sleeping? I don't see your camper. I don't see your name anywhere.
I'm just going to be hanging out that, let me see that tree. Oh, you took it down. The tree.
You'll be comfortable in your own bed.
I'll be just hanging out there. I'll just be standing there for 2.5 days.
I know. I can't wait. We start Friday. We dig in. We set up, and then by Sunday, typically we're back home with our families. Sunday by lunch. Awesome times.
And the actual operating time starts mid-Saturday, right, through till
11
mid-Sunday. Is that right?
That's right. 11 o'clock out here in Six Land on the left coast. Ooh, that hurt.
Can I make a quick comment? Yeah, and we will be monitoring the club repeater. So the system we're using now, we will be monitoring.
Go ahead, ULG. Question for Jason.
Yeah, Jason, you were talking about that log for old men. And you started that conversation. I went into my shop and grabbed a pen and pad. Is that only an Apple device, or is that like a Android phone or a laptop? And what is the login information?
Oh, okay, yeah. Also, Kevin didn't realize he didn't have the repeater, but what he said, if anyone out there in Radio Land listening is curious, we'll be right here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So give a shout out on this repeater, and we can talk you into the location. So I'm on a PC. About 6 months ago, I went through a divorce, and Apple and I are no longer together. I do have their phones and whatnot, but computer-wise, the bang for the buck, it's just hard to not go with a PC, build your own, like I mentioned. But this is on a PC or a laptop. I don't know if they have a mobile client. That is a good question. There's a couple other mobile clients, and we'll be trying all this out and experimenting during field day. So that's also sometimes fun. A time to learn is when it's time to do it.
So Jason, that log on for old men, as you say, is that log on for om.com?
Let me do a quick Google and let me see exactly what that is. Carlos, why don't you take it from here while I get some info?
Sure will. I was looking through our Zoom, and one of our core members, haven't talked to him yet tonight. Mike, how is everything doing with our EchoLink and other nodes, and anything you want to share?
Oh, thanks, Carlos. This is Mike, WG5EEK. And, I don't know anything about sharing with the nodes, just having fun with talking with some new members during the week and sharing some insights I've had. I'm looking forward to field day. I've got a bunch of stuff ordered. Got some of it in, most of it's in. We're just going to have fun helping out set up antennas and getting mine set up, and then I'm going to help cook. I'm not going to be the primary cook, but I have a lot of experience with that. So I'll definitely put my skills to use there and make sure everybody gets fed. And yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing all you guys out there, whoever can show up. If you can't show up, like was said, just hit us up on the repeater. You know, if you're not local, we've got EchoLink and DMR and AllStar. You can hit us up on there, and we'll just have a good conversation. Back to you, Carlos. WG5EEK.
All right, thanks, Mike. Jason, are you ready?
Yeah, actually, Nick was quick on the search. That must be his new desk he's got there in the shack. He's finding himself more productive. So yeah, log4om.com. So pretty straightforward. Logging software can be a little daunting when you first get into it. And one thing I really recommend is watch some videos. I personally haven't really made any logging videos. I'm kind of new to the game myself, so I just don't feel that I can speak smoothly enough on it. But yeah, check that out. For that matter, you could always Google best ham radio logging software. That's kind of my favorite way to start searching for things. But yeah, we're over a week away, so there's plenty of time to learn anything.
Thank you, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions or comments about field day or anything else you want to share with the group? Come now.
KI6UJH.
Go ahead, Doug.
Quick comment, for those who are going to operate individually, if you do a SOTA or a POTA, a park on the air, at least with POTA, there's no specific exchange. You can use the field day exchange and do a twofer. So you can operate field day, and you can also activate a park. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing. It'll be a lot of fun. Recommend it to anybody who's going to be operating solo. KI6UJH, back to net control.
Thanks for that, Doug. And anybody else?
This is KYX Eric in Sacramento.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric, how are you doing? Come one more time with the call sign. I didn't quite get all that.
Chris knows who I am. KN6, GYX.
All right, KN6, GYX. Go ahead.
Not sure I'm going to be taking my general test this Saturday, so hopefully I pass that. That's kind of a determining factor what I'm going to do and what I'm going to bring and how excited I'm going to be. Either I'm going to be crying or I'm going to be jumping up and down with joy, so we'll see. I'll probably tailgate, come out there and meet you guys, and tailgate in 991A with a bi-lino battery and a super antenna and see how that goes.
You know what? That brings up a great point I didn't mention, and sometimes you forget that just because you know something others may or may not don't. But field day we're going to be operating under our club call, Whiskey 6 VVR. That will give us extra class privileges. So, Eric, come on out, operate HF. You know, I mean, that is the beauty of going to a field day and linking up with other operators using a club call, is you'll be able to use every frequency that your radio can go to. And that goes for anybody that maybe just wants to go out with their Elmer or with someone else. You get to operate with the highest class that's present. They become the control operator. And then you just use your call sign in the event, let's say you go out with someone else, but then, you know, if there's ever a question or a problem, you can give it to the control operator.
Sounds great. I appreciate that intel there, Jason. Yeah, all your help too for 991A too. You kind of steered me that direction, looking at the radio, so I'm happy about that. So this is KN6GYX. Good listening to you guys. I'm going to get back to my studying here, trying not to listen so I can study. Have a great night.
For checking in. And that's a good point. Field day is an excellent chance for techs who are working towards their general, or somebody that just wants to sit down and do some HF. Great opportunity. I know from my experience with these folks, people are usually very willing to teach you, show you how the different radios and setups work, and give you a chance to get on the air. So it's a great opportunity. All right, this is a 2-meter crew, anti-net, W6 CRP, coordinating. And any other questions or anything else before we wrap the net up?
Mike's got something.
Yeah.
Mode question.
Okay, it looks like we got Mike and then Mode. So go ahead, Mike.
Hey there, guys. Jason and Kirk Carlos once again. Hey, just curious, I guys will be running all kinds of modes, CW, sideband, and FT8. More
Go
FT8,
ahead, Michael.
Because my fellow ham, Joel, is doing his North Hills, and he does a lot of FT8. So FT8's a thing for you guys, too?
Absolutely, yes. I will be for sure practicing FT8, especially because I can walk away from the radio and maybe do a little filming or videotaping. There's no film involved. But a few people are, you know, very good at CW. I think Jim from Concord, he's going to come up and rack us some points, because if it's digital, it's 2 points. If it's phone, it's just 1 point. So digital can be worth it, although you really don't win anything. And I think I really like phone. That's probably one of my favorite ways to operate. But yeah, we're definitely going to be running the Gambit. Sounds good.
N6 CMB.
Bye, Chris.
Hey, Jason, do you know if they'll be running FT4 for the contesting versus FT8?
I don't know that. I feel like it's FT8 only, but I don't know that. It's all about the program, whether or not the WJSTX have written what they need for that. So I'd have to search that.
Is it only half as good?
That was a bit of a trick question for Jason, because I don't know the answer either, although I am doing a lot of FT8 lately. FT4 is the protocol for digital contesting. I'm just not sure whether it's ready yet and ready for prime time. If anybody out there does know, we may see it being used on field day.
All right, do we have any other questions? And it does look like they opened up the Zoom password and connection, so if folks want to jump on Zoom and join them there face-to-face, go ahead and do that. And did we have any other questions?
This is Mike. I want to get in there real quick, make sure I got the repeater. WG5EEK here. I just wanted to remind everybody that's going to field day here at Kevin's house. I still have the mugs that we made for the holiday party for the Vaca Valley Radio Club members. So if you didn't get yours, I will bring the box that I still have. There's quite a few there. So please come stop by. If you can't stay for long, that's okay. Just come get your mug. It's free. That's all I got.
So a quick search. I found a Q&A.
How do I get a mug?
Can I operate FT4, FT8 on field day? All digital modes can be used during field day, provided they can accommodate the field day exchange. That's kind of what I was alluding to, is whether or not that program has a way for you to, select a few boxes and turn it into field day mode. So, not sure about that.
You can.
6 CMB.
Speak up, Nick.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do some checking on it during the week here, but I think that is the purpose of FT4. It's got the boxes to tick to set it up for contesting, and it runs on a quicker cycle, believe it or not, faster than FT8 on the cycle. So that's pretty cool, and I think it might be fun to get FT4 up and running for the contest. I also had a couple of shout-outs I wanted to make. As long as I got the mic, I'll keep it going. Starting to see folks getting more active, for sure. One of our 2MC OG, Derek, also known as the Green Donkey. Some of you may know him. He doesn't make it out usually to these events at night because he's always on a mountaintop somewhere. But K6 DJV, he's got a YouTube channel and puts up some pretty cool videos. He's passionate about simplex VHF. So if you can check out his 2-meter crew YouTube page, it's the numeral 2 meter with no space in between crew. And the donkey puts up some pretty cool videos from mountaintops around here in Northern California, showing off some great simplex work on VHF. So be sure to check him out.
Yeah, thank you for that, Chris. And yeah, he just did some recent really good work. Looked like he got swarmed when he was up there on Diablo and working through a couple of nice jams. Any other questions or comments? All right, we'll go ahead and we're going to wrap up and close the 2-meter crew anti-net, and we'll turn it over to Zoom and Jason on the YouTube. Keep it going there for a few minutes to folks that want to do that. But thank you for joining the net. A lot of good questions, good info shared. Look forward to seeing everybody on field day. Try to make it out, or at least get up on the radio and give us a shout. So this is the 2-meter crew anti-net, Whiskey 6 CRP, and we'll be turning the repeater back to normal operation. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you, Carlos. Awesome job as always. KM6FAK. Zoom is open for anyone that is interested. Link is in the YouTube chat. Also a good time to do show and tell on Zoom.
I think I'm the only one on Zoom that stays old school. You're seeing the roof of the garage, baby.
It took a long time for Carlos to green screen his ceiling and then get that image put on there, just right. So.
Yeah, he put some work in.
And on Zoom, I do see my favorite up-and-coming ham operator, Miss Molly, working her way into the station.
Oh, I know her. She's on a new video that I just saw on YouTube.
Yep.
You have a matching hat.
Uh-huh.
She's promoting Northwest Ham Shack.
Very good. We'll allow
I'm not getting your audio on the radio there, Nick.
We let go of the repeater.
Now can you hear us?
You sound good.
Okay, I caught the very tail end of that, Miss Molly. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome
Molly,
video
what do you
that
like?
you made with your dad. That was great camera work. I was so surprised when your dad turned that camera around, and that was you the whole time back there filming that. Wonderful job.
Thank you, Carlos.
Whiskey 6 CRP.
So, Jason.
Yeah, how's it going?
Okay, yeah, on WSJT, there is a slot for you for a field day exchange.
Oh, very good.
It's on the under the advanced, under the settings. You go to the advanced, and down on the right-hand side, there's a field day Actually, there's like 4 or 5 different contests you can put for WSJT.
And how would you say, how popular is that compared?
I would say like 20%.
Yeah.
Of the points come off digital.
Oh, I mean, just people out there using it. I find that there's a lot of FT8 people in the world. I'm just curious how much of FT4 is starting to be used.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. FT4. You know, like Chris was saying, it's a quicker exchange for contesting. But I think that's regular digital. You know, if it's FT4 contesting or FT8 contesting, PSK, and a lot of people are using it. And actually, I've been using it for. I've got like 2-3 states for each band I've got to fill, and I've been doing it since April.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. It's always fun.
If you let me share a screen, I'll show you. I just brought up FT4. We'll see. There's actually some activity out there right now on it.
Yeah, go ahead. You've it's enabled.
Host has disabled.
What?
Being stingy with the.
It's defaultly a security setting that's set that way.
Oh, there it is. Okay, try now.
There we go. Desktop 1.
I'm just not sure, Chris. You know, I don't know what you're going to share.
You never know. Well, I'm going to hit the share button. That's the tricky part. Come on now. Gets a little clunky with all this stuff running. All right. That's not what I'm looking to share. I want to share. There we go. How do I get rid of these guys? Oh. All right. Hide that. So there we are. I don't know why this is.
Jeez, I can tell you're on a Mac.
Let's get rid of that. Now, hopefully, that's going to start looking better. So this is FT4 on 20 meters.
Okay.
And New Zealand popping in there. A couple of USA stations. I mean, it's not jam packed like FT8, but there's no contest right now, and people are on here. You know.
Huh. Yeah, you know, I feel like I always get slightly confused, or I don't like when there's too many choices. I mean, it's definitely nice to have competition, but now it's like, do I try to work all states FT8 because I'm almost there, or do I do FT4? Is that more popular?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a green guy. I've already worked him on probably 20 meter on FT8, so he's a duplicate. I'm waiting for an easy pickings for me to show up, and I can grab one here, get a first contact. So yeah, not nearly as much activity, right, as we see on. If I switch over now, it's just if everybody's. Let's go ahead and do it. I'll go to FT8 and see the difference. And change frequencies for me.
And if this is the first time for people that are setting their eyes on this is, as it says on the top, WSJTX, and what is it, like a Princeton something website? Do they mean the college, or is that just what they call it?
I'm not sure. I think it might be associated with the university there.
Yeah, and so it's a free program, and really sometimes the biggest hurdle is getting it up and running with your computer, whatever that might be. And one challenge with a computer and your radio is it really helps if the radio you're trying to use has a built-in sound card. So I can give you a great example. The FT-891, fantastic. You could call it a mobile radio, mobile portable, or it could be a bass, but it's the size of your typical dual bander you're going to put in your car. That does not have a built-in sound card, or like the FT-450 by Yaesu does not have a built-in sound card. So then you either need an external box that's about $150, or you can get really creative and bring audio in and out of it. But it's a bit of a hit or miss. Or there's also a kit you can buy. I think Dave actually told us last time about the kit. You can get a kit off eBay and build something yourself. but it does help to start off with a radio. If you're out there looking for a radio that has a sound card, or getting a signal link type box. Dave, I know you want to say something. I could hear yourself. I could hear you unmuted yourself, Dave. I was waiting for you to key in.
Oh, I'm sorry. On what? On the signal link?
Well, I know. Didn't you share with us last time about a kit you can build yourself?
Yeah. I can't recall what that was though.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go back and watch our other 2-meter crew nets. You'll find it in there. So, Chris, are we now? Looks like we're on FT8.
Yeah, I went back to FT8. I was hoping to bang a quick contact while you were chatting, and of course, when you want it to grab a quick one, you don't, right? But so while we're talking here, over on the right, this is me trying to make contact with one of the stations that's out there.
I'm gonna try to find you here, Chris.
Let me.
You're on FT8 now.
Yeah, I'm on FT8, and I'll go ahead. I'll try it another way here. I'll go ahead and call CQ and see if we get anybody to come that way. So down, I've set up now to call CQ, and I'm going to enable my transmit, and the computer will take over, sending out that signal, running my radio for me.
And you could go get a drink, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, or do some work during the daytime. I try to make as many contacts as I can during the day when I'm working. So I keep this laptop running next to my my work laptop, and just try to get some stuff. I don't know if these guys saw, they're probably small on the screen, but Ukraine just flipped by there a little bit earlier, and there's some good stuff going on. And 20 meters, if you look at the bottom, I think you can see the waterfall. Everywhere where you see that waterfall filled, each one of those kind of vertical streams that looks a little like the Matrix, those are data streams going on, conversations going on in FT8. So you can see that the frequency's pretty full. There's a lot going on. And nobody wants to jump on my call. I'm kind of on a busy spot up there. I could move down a little bit and probably have a little more luck. You learn some of these little kind of tricks that to make yourself stand out more. Sometimes if I see Europe pop it up, I'll go ahead and fire up an amplifier and throw out a little extra power to try to get heard, just like I guess you would if you were trying to break through on phone, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've actually I feel kind of bad sometimes about that. Is fire up an amplifier if I'm I'll see some crazy DX country I can't even pronounce. It's like I start reaching for the amplifier, and I really kind of watch things, because when you're transmitting, what is it, 6 seconds, Chris?
Yeah, it really comes fast. Here we go. So I got two things going on here. Which guy am I chatting with? And my dog is saying hello to some folks that are walking by the house. Let's see if we got one going here. We got one on the hook, hopefully.
But yeah, so as you're FT8ing with an amplifier, you definitely want to watch some things, because it's full tilt boogie. When you talk, your amplifier, you'll see it as depending what you say. Woo! Let me drop this out of the way. Look at that. I like it. I like this live demo.
So right there, folks, we made a contact. That was this pop-up box. Over here on the right is kind of it's the conversation we had, which really is just exchanging some signal strength information, who we are, where we're at, and then a little confirmation, 73 at the end. And that's the whole thing. Your QSO can happen in a matter of maybe, I think they're 6 seconds or 15 seconds burst, and then you're done. If they happen quick, sometimes it takes a little longer to exchange the data, and then you basically, I hit OK, it goes in my auto logs into, and I didn't bring it up, but if you don't mind, Jason, I'll bring it up here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Just because it's pretty cool.
Now, what about Grid Tracker?
That's what I'm bringing up.
Yeah, sorry, I was in the chat answering some people.
So I'm bringing up Grid Tracker now. This is a pretty cool little piece of software. you know, Jason, he likes maps, right? So he's got to have on every screen. He has 12 in his shack.
Yes.
He's got to have a map on every one, I think. And Grid Track. Oh, here we go. Grid Tracker's got a very cool map. So you can see here, there's a code legend down here. The yellow spots are QSOs I've made, and the red ones are QSL. So you can see kind of where I've been around the world looking at the map there. It always shows the gray line, which I found can be really handy. Like if you're thinking about getting somewhere, you know, you want to try to target someplace, you want to see when Europe's opening up. I like to follow the gray line and see if that works for me. I've got all of my auto logging going on over here. So if I go up to my QSOs, move a little slow, they all come up, and you can see them all here inside of Grid Tracker. But what's also happening is Grid Tracker is putting them automatically for me into QRZ and into Logbook of the World. So I don't have to worry about moving files or manually transcribing anything. I've got them all automatically going into my logbooks.
And so that's what you're using for your logger, it sounds like, when you're on FT8?
Yeah, that's what I'm using. Now, not everybody does that. Like some people will use Rumlog NG, or what's the one that's popular on PCs?
Well, so we've been talking a lot about Log4OM, and that's actually my workflow. So I'll bring up WJSTX, I'll bring up Grid Tracker, and then I'll bring up Log4OM. And there's some kind of advanced settings to get it all to daisy chain to each other. So in other words, WJSTX, WSJTX passes it to the Grid Tracker passes it to Log4OM. So now, Chris, are you paying for QRZ?
I am. I do have a paid subscription.
Okay, because that is the only way that a lot of times QRZ wants a paid in order for a program to put it there, but there is a workaround where if you put it into Logbook of the World, you can pull it down from Logbook of the World.
Back to QRZ.
Yeah.
So if you notice these black lines and that are going on, these are the transmissions that are going on between different stations that I'm picking up. So you can see these guys are getting over to the European Russia. I was just hitting the East Coast of the U.S. So it's kind of cool to kind of track where people are transmitting. And you can see, it's really hard for you to see it. There's a little red square that just came up because that's a state I don't have yet. I need to get in there, right? So I want to get that state. It gives you these alerts for areas that you haven't hit yet. So I should be trying to figure out who those guys are going and contacting and trying to jump on him so I can finish my 50 states. Anyway, that's a little bit about it. The thing that's missing, of course, is we don't talk. You know, it's just all this data exchange, and it's a lot of fun from a technical standpoint watching it all work. But at the end of the day, I don't get to meet anybody or have a good conversation with anyone.
Yeah, agreed. But, you know, it can be fun to have that going on, like you said, if you're trying to get other things done, or maybe you're already talking to people on your local repeater, or maybe you're hanging out online, whether it's in some kind of Discord or no talking. Sometimes that's perfect, David West says in the chat. I like it. Now,
well, I thought of that. You know, I think maybe for, like, I don't want to, like, you know, people, millennials or boomers or whatever, but like younger generations who are pretty, you know, high tech savvy, and I think I can see them really digging that sort of, you know, interaction versus maybe the online RF talking. I don't know. I hate to stereotype, but
yeah. I mean, the younger generation has strong thumbs and poor social skills. I'm kidding.
All right, I got way off a field day there. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, yeah, it turns into open forum. I need to look up. So Rick in the chat of YouTube says he's on a sailing vessel at the Rica port. Sanilik? I don't know. I'll have to look that up, where that is. That sounds cool. What country is that in, Rick? That sounds really interesting. Hopefully he got to bring some ham radio gear. Okay, I'm seeing it now. Oh, he's up
County in Michigan.
Yeah, he's up in Michigan. He's up at the bottom of the mitt. So you have Michigan here. He's about right there. All right, very cool. Looks like we got Scott in the house. Scott, what's going on? Are you here to answer calls? Our 1-800 call center?
Yeah, that's right. No, I was learning about this grid tracker thing. So I was playing it on my computer, and so anyways, yeah. So a little bit of ham shack tour there. So FTM 100D on top, and then it's kind of a little fuzzy, I realized, but that's a ICOM 707 from maybe 15-20 years ago. It doesn't have a sound card, but it does go into a nice little Mackie Pro FX mixer.
What?
Which has a USB. I know. It's a little overkill for my setup, but so that goes into a USB port onto my computer, which feeds the audio. And let's see if I get a little bit of contrast.
So
here.
that's how you're doing it.
Yeah. So the mixer. Yeah, and I got a cool story to tell you guys in a little bit here. But anyways, it goes into the mixer, right? And then the mixer goes into the computer over USB. And then, you can hear the glorious sounds. It's great. But I didn't know about this grid tracker thing, so I just literally downloaded a second ago when you mentioned it and downloaded it. And now, answer me this: is it talking to WSJT, or is it pulling the audio feed and doing its own decode?
Ooh. As far as I know, it's talking to WJSD. That's where it's getting it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
Some internet connection, I imagine. I don't know if it's getting some of that data. It gets like you can pull down thunderstorms. There's like a lightning tracker.
Yeah, I've seen those.
There's a lot of stuff there that obviously is not coming from there. But near as I can tell, those like the conversations it's showing and stuff, it's pulling that from the WS.
So, guys, I have a fun story to tell you if you have a minute.
Yeah.
So if you can see here, I've got two radios, a power supply, and an antenna tuner. And about a month ago, I was playing around with a new antenna, and I went behind later that evening. During the testing of the new antenna, I noticed that as I increased power on the HF rig, that it seemed to do like an automatically reduced power. And I thought, well, maybe I have high WSR, but I was looking at my antenna tuner and it was low WSR, really low. So what I found was that, so on the back of the power supply later that evening, I saw something very strange. Like, well, maybe this is the reason why my power was being reduced. I noticed that my ground wire was completely off for both radios, was off its power pole on the power supply. And so through some testing, I was able to operate my radios without a ground supply. I don't understand that, right? So was it getting ground from the antennas? Did I have some other fault in the system? How are my radios running without the ground wire plugged into the power supply? So I'm going to give you guys a second to think about how is it that the radios were powered without a ground supply plugged in?
Now, just to clarify, you're speaking about you got the red positive and then the black negative coming out of the power supply.
The black wire
right?
was unplugged.
Okay.
And both.
Is
Yeah.
your radio grounded?
No, it wasn't. That's the thing. It's not grounded in another way. That's critical information. No, I'm working on a ground system now, but it is not grounded in any other way. It's running basically one-legged, if you will. Or is it?
Is your other radio that's connected grounded to anything?
Nope.
So was it getting a ground through your I guess outer shield of your antenna, and that was grounded to the same ground that your power is connected to?
So I unplugged all the antennas and the antenna tuner, and the radio still stayed on. So there is a piece of this, and I shared it with you. I already showed it to you in the video, but it's not obvious. So think about all the peripherals connected to my radios. Something was providing ground.
Your mixer.
Yeah, the mixer was providing ground, which is probably a good reason why you should ground your radio equipment, because this is probably one of those corner case things that happen. If you accidentally knock the power off of one of your power poles, like the ground in my case, and you're transmitting ground over a mixer that one is already taking a lot of power on of its own. It probably couldn't handle the amps, an additional 100 watts or 40 watts or whatever it was doing. And so the power supply was choking somehow and pulling back the power. It wasn't getting good enough ground to complete the circuit or something. So anyways, yeah. So the point here is, yes, what happened is as soon as I pulled out my what triggered is I started pulling out the microphone, and I pulled out this, and the radio went off. And then I realized that the ground was crossing through my line. Now this is a 1/4 inch, so it's a it can carry a decent current on it. But yeah, that's what was going on. It was lesson learned.
You're lucky.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, it's better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Well, what happened was it's there, and there you go, guys. That's why when I recommend when we hook up our mixers to our radios, what are we using, Nick?
Passive direct boxes.
Yes, isolation boxes that eliminate that ground, because our radios are actually floating. So your power supply had no problem whatsoever. Your power supply was delivering however much current you needed to do it. The problem was in that extra ground path, which you discovered was going through your mixer and through the 1/4 inch jack. So the smaller conductors, PC board, mic cable, whatever you had, was trying to carry all that current. So luckily you found it so that you didn't continue to do it and accidentally.
That wasn't me.
I wonder who that is. So I've actually seen burn up traces and pieces of equipment that's happened to.
Yeah.
So it's always a really good idea now to, when you're taking audio leads between your radio and your gear, if you can, put a 1-to-1 isolation transformer, because now that can't happen. It does two things. It keeps that from happening. It helps isolate it. Helps isolate it from RF. I'm just real particular about it because I got my ICOMs and Kenwoods and I try not to. I set up Nick, and we just did Sal and a couple other radios. And there's these little direct boxes that cost $14 or $15, and they will save you.
Yeah. So where do we have it? Is this like an MFJ or something I can find?
No, this is audio stuff. We can go over this later. See, like this right here, little here. I don't know. Did I get that right? This is a little Behringer version of what you have, sort of, kind of, and it's analog in, analog out. And then what we typically do is, like this microphone that I'm speaking in now is going into a small mixer, just like Jason and Nick and everybody else that has one of these things. And then what I did is I take the output from the mixer, and I actually have one sitting right there. You can see it. Let me grab it.
Also, I wanted to let me bring this up here. I wanted to let people know. Well, I guess so. I always forget. So I don't do a very good job of making sure people are included on Zoom because I'm not always sharing my screen. But a few weeks ago, Josh over there at Ham Radio Crash Course, I'm sharing it now on YouTube. He got the guy by name. His name is Tag. What a cool name. And right here, Grid Tracker QSO Hunting, Tag N0TTL. So Josh had a chance to sit down with Tag and have a whole conversation about Grid Tracker. So if you really want to do a deep dive and learn more, I definitely check that out. That is actually where I stumbled upon it, which was just a month ago. And I want to say hi to Kyle in a second, but go ahead, Kevin.
I won't get into it. This is just an inexpensive. Here, let me get it up here. There you go. Let me get terms.
From Pile. Okay, got it.
What happens to be, yeah, and we stock them here at the office, and it's a, you can buy, and I got a box full of those too. You can buy a little 1-to-1 transformer and make it yourself. But these guys, for under $15, what we typically do is use the balance line output on the output side of the transformer, and that's what we feed our mic input with. And then the high Z side, it goes to our mixer, and then we've got a pad control, and then you have a ground lift. But I don't even hook the ground up on the mic side, because your microphone input on your radio typically has a microphone hot and it has a microphone ground, which in some cases is not the same ground as your radio, and sometimes there's just a little resistor that it's going through. So you gotta be careful. So this'll for $14, but that's a topic for another time. And if you come to field day, you'll probably see something like that hooked up at Jason's station, right, Jason?
Yeah, I think I might bring one or two. I'm gonna bring my little mini mixer.
Okay. Well, we can bring some. We can hook your stuff up, and then we'll bring some extra junk out for props, so people can like look at it and touch it and see it and that kind of thing.
I'll try to make. I don't know if I can make it because my wife's birthday is. I don't know. We're trying to figure out what day we're gonna.
But just bring her with you.
Yeah, she hates radios.
But does she like hamburgers and hot dogs?
You know what? Maybe we need to introduce our wives, Scott, since we live so close.
We don't live anywhere. We don't live close, do we? No, I'm in Roseville.
I'm in Vacaville. That's 40 minutes. Roseville has a bunch of yuppie shopping.
Yeah. Nut Tree Factory Stores. I mean, Jason lives right behind it.
Rumor has it that Kevin's wife kind of came up with some activities to keep the bored wives who really hate ham radio kind of entertained and hanging out, having a good time. So I don't know if that's that. She's pretty nice, pretty social, and she makes us made some of the food and stuff. But she's used to me. She's used to us. She gets tired of us. She'll just leave. Go back into the house.
Hey, so
she wants to do.
Let me kick it over to Kyle here. I don't know if you guys had a chance to meet him yet or not. Another fellow YouTuber. Pretty cool call, AA0Z. But anyways, what's new, Kyle? How things with you?
Good. You got me? 5'9"? My 5'9"?
Yeah, you're sounding nice and loud.
Good. Yeah, I saw the chat there, and I've been watching you guys all evening here. It's 10 o'clock here, 10:30. And so I thought I'd drop in. And you guys talk about field day, right? Yeah,
we're getting ready to spin up ours. We're going.
I like Kyle, man.
We're going full in. Do you like his microphone, Kevin?
Oh, I'm not going to talk about his SM7 if that's what it is.
It's a SM7B. Yep.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous here. That's my.
That's okay. Baby. That's okay, man. Under the desk, I have my gold-plated RE20, so I'm just not going to bring it out. Okay.
Now, one thing I find pretty interesting is actually how Kyle operates at times. He operates remotely with a Flex. So tell everyone just real quick how you do that, because I think that's way cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of that on field day. So I have a Flex, a 6700, and I've got a Maestro. So the Maestro is the thing with all the buttons, right? And the Flex is just a black box. And I live in a city, St. Louis, and I could literally, if I could probably yell really loud, and my neighbor could probably hear me. She lives 2 feet on that side of me, and I got another neighbor on this side that is about 4 feet from me, and my lot is 50 feet by 100 feet. So you can imagine there's nowhere to put an antenna.
Ooh.
So what I've done is my parents live out on a farm about an hour and a half away from me, and I have remoted my Flex, remoted the black box, and put up a couple antennas and an antenna tuner, and I take my Maestro and just hook it up to the internet, and you boot the Flex up remotely and connect the Maestro, and boom, I'm on the air with my 3 antennas at my parents' house that have all the acreage in the world. So I do not, I have radios here at the house, but I don't turn them on because the noise level is like an S9 because everyone's on top of one another. So, and some people say, well, it's on the internet and there's a delay. Flex has now gotten down to, they have gotten down the technology down pat, and it's like setting at the radio. It's great. I mean, there might be like a 200 millisecond delay, maybe 150 millisecond delay, but if you're running single sideband and CW, you're not noticing it at all. So it's really cool. I'm not gonna do remote for field day. I'm gonna actually get a KX3 and an amplifier that I'm going to bring that hasn't gotten much love lately. So, you have to give all your radios love at the same time or all of them get jealous. So I'm going to give my KX3 some love during field day. But I am going to bring the remote, and I might fire up the cell phone and do a hotspot and see if I can do some low bandwidth operating. So anyway, that's my situation. I'm looking forward to field day, though. I think there's going to be a lot of stations. We had Missouri QSO party in April, and it was kind of in the middle of the COVID-19 stuff, and they had a record number of people enter into Missouri QSO. So I'm assuming I'm going to make what's the word I'm looking for?
The guess, or the projection.
I'm going to make the projection now that it's going to be a record field day on the amount of entries submitted to the ARL, and I bet you every single band is going to be jam-packed, and if it's not jam-packed, people are going to force it open.
Yeah, it always surprises me how well propagation conditions are during contests, especially with field day. I like exactly what you're saying. A lot of people had the chance to dust off their equipment recently, and maybe they're really looking forward to an itch, and especially with this whole work from home, still be a part of your club. That's some way cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, our club is not going to meet. We're going to do. We decided to not cancel, but do a modified field day. I'm kind of envious that you guys are getting together with all your campers, and you got the band bees. I was giving Jason a bunch of crap. I'm like, where's the 11-meter band bee? But he told me, nope, there's no 11-meter band bee. Sorry. So we're not going to meet. We're going to do some online stuff to make the club feel like it's a little bit more like a community. We're going to hold a net and some other stuff. But, I've gotten some questions from people who normally don't get on HF on, hey, how do I configure my rig? How do I configure N1MM? What can I do to help the club? And these are people that come out to field day usually and just eat hamburgers and hot dogs. And we say, hey, come and sit down on the radio. And they're like, maybe later. And they're asking me, like, how can they get on the air? So it's great.
That's what I go for, is the hamburgers and hot dogs. I mean,
well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in your face during field day.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's more eaten than ham radio, but hey, we'll save that for another day.
It's a ham radio social event.
Yes. So anyway, I'm looking forward to field day. It's some people kind of poo-poo on it and say, it's a bunch of contesters and this and that. I love field day. I love getting on the radio and trying to make as many contacts as possible.
Oh yeah. I'm with you. I've done my best to put that in the calendar. It's funny. We let's see. I think I got an RV. Well, actually, that's how it happened. I got an RV. We went a few camping spots, and I realized my cell phone doesn't work. And then I thought back to my four-wheel driving days, and I always had a CB radio in my Jeeps. And so that's actually what got me studying again, is getting the RV. And so the first year I had the RV, in June, I had then gotten my license, and we went with a bunch of other RVers to NASCAR here in Northern California, which was way cool. But come to find out, NASCAR comes to town every year. Field day is, so I had to make a pretty big decision there. But I have a much better time at field day for sure.
I would just like to comment and say, Jason, I on behalf of all the ham radio community, you made the right decision.
What? You don't like the NASCAR going by? That's a NASCAR.
I didn't say I
want to
like
camp
it.
in Kevin's backyard. I mean, that experience alone is worth the.
Yeah. Somebody commented on the thing, said, I don't see any grass. And I want to go, it's field day, dude. We're in a field.
Yeah, we are in a field. I mean, we are. So I can tell you this. One of these field days, we might have to wait, I guess, when Kevin moves away, because that might happen one day. He's going to go to Texas. But our noise floor is a little higher there in Fairfield. But the location and the convenience and all of the hookups and utilities, I mean, you just can't. It's great. We rent a porta potty for the whole weekend. It's a pretty good price. It's like $160.
Cadillac porta potty.
We get the handicap one, so you got lots of elbow room in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kevin runs some water for a sink, like one of those utility sinks, and soap, and we got it going on. For that matter, this year, I can't believe it. We got a kitchen team. What do we have? 4 or 5 people. Mike, you're on the team this year. How many kitchen team members do we have? Have you ever heard of such a thing at Field Day? Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's several. There's like I want to say there were like 4 or 5 volunteers to help cook, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Can you guys? There's been a rumor floating around. I just want to make sure that we're not getting Impossible Burgers, right? These are real hamburgers.
These are. Oh, you heard about the roadkill burgers? Oh, yeah, those are optional.
Well, so if you're a paying member, you get an ostrich burger, but everyone else is just going to be Costco.
Yeah, those guys, they do a great job, and the campers and the people that are going to be here all night, you're going to get taken care of, and the folks that come visit during the day, okay. If you weren't in a ham radio, it was worth it for the lunch, and I mean it's a good time. It's a good time.
How many people do you guys have show up and you get to show people what ham radio is? Do you get any stragglers that come over and go, hey, what are you guys doing over here?
746, 1 horsepower.
No, so our location is fairly remote. It's down a very quiet lane or road, if you will. This will be the first year I posted it in the ARL's locator. So last year, it was kind of a test run because it is Kevin's private property. We wanted to kind of feel it out. But then this year we said, let's go for it. So maybe there will be more. But one thing I can say is a lot of times I get a lot of texts of a few months, a few years, or a lot of years. And they just haven't seen it. Last year it was the first time I was setting up a buddy pole, and that can be a little tricky finding the right tap on those coils. And a couple of the guys, even from the club, they just had a lot of questions, and I really wanted to chat with them. But before you know it, it was like 1 o'clock, and I still didn't have my my buddy pole ready on 20 meters. So a lot of chatting with newer folks.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
That's a really good point about the exposure. I think you actually can get a point addition for setting up in like a public location, and I know obviously Kevin's house is super convenient, but that might be something to consider at some point in the future as far as the club's exposure is concerned. I think you get an additional point system for setting up in like a shopping center or somewhere public where you can gain that like exposure from people that have never been exposed to ham radio.
I still plan to reach out to the local news and see if they're interested. Typically they like that. I don't know what they think with everything going on, but we're down. Come on with it.
We're following all the rules.
That's right. We're going to maintain 6 feet and talk to each other on HTs, simplex.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we have a safety coordinator. We have a kitchen crew. We have a logistics coordinator and the porta potty team. I mean, we got it all.
Yes, the porta potty team.
Yeah. Well,
now, what's the protocol if Jason's running on 40 meters and Kevin, you want to run on 40 meters because 20 meters may be dead, or you're just tired of 20 meters. Like, do you just toss the frisbees?
That's it.
What do you do?
You steal it.
So you can't see 40 because it's green, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah. So believe it or not, these puppies are made in Germany. I only deal with the best. No, it was the only frisbees I could find with no markings on Amazon. And I wanted a full size, not one of those mini ones, because you can't throw a mini one. That's just ridiculous. But no, the idea is you could call out even. We're in this circle wagon circle, if you will. Let's see. Do I have a picture if you're on YouTube? There's a picture on YouTube. We're in this cool circle, and you could just be like, hey, who's got 20? I want to get on 20 right now. And then here it comes. Here comes the, what color is 20? The red one. The red one will come flying.
So is it, so what, are you going to be using resonant antennas?
Probably a little of everything. I mean, so I have a buddy pole with a MassWorks, which is way cool to get it up close to 30 feet. Chris up there in the corner with the cool blue waving background, he just ordered a DX Commander. So I might have to work Chris. I don't know if we're going to be able to get together this weekend. We might have to pull an all-nighter Friday to get it ready for Saturday. But
I'm going to get some of the grunt work done during the week. I'll get
good.
everything soldered up and more or less ready. We may have a little tweaking to do in the morning.
No, that's good.
I was kind of thinking about that, guys. Where Chris's vehicle's going to be next to, I took it down, next to Jason. We might want to run his coax away past you and put it in that open field so we can get the ground radios nice and, I mean, I don't know how long those things are. But
well, I figure if Chris comes out and heads directly south, which is behind him.
Yeah.
Because what's the ground radials? Like 30 feet, Chris? Or is it more?
I don't think they're quite 30. Yeah, they're right about there. I think I want to say they're 10 meters or so. And then
if you can get the pole up close to the property line, the fence is like a no fence. There's really no fence there, and we can run the ground line radios out onto the irrigation property. Nobody will care.
But then a couple other people are bringing. Let's see, what did Don get recently? He got like a multi-band. A lot of people kind of have a multi-band, Kyle. So I'm thinking there will be options. There will be choices, and the way I see it too is previous years that we kind of make a schedule. But then whatever happens, people get distracted, they want to eat, they want to socialize, and the person scheduled is not on 20. And guess what? It's like early afternoon when 20 is really hot. So that was the idea of the band bees, where you just kind of pass it like a baton. Yep. And then, I mean, we can start off with a loose schedule, but I'm just thinking, hey, if you don't got the disc, you don't operate.
Right. We did something like that on a contest, and who was going to operate on what band went out 10 minutes before the contest even started.
Yeah. No, that's sometimes how it goes. I mean,
and it worked. It absolutely worked. Like, you know, we kind of had this, all right, you run on 20, you run on 40, blah, 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 and you know, kind of just called out audibles, you know, like a quarterback, and it just worked.
Awesome.
We will have an announcing system to annoy the people that are on it. Get off that band! So,
well, yeah, you could just get on that band and just like get up, you know, 3 kilohertz above and be like, I want this frequency.
Yeah.
Is this frequency in use?
It actually happened sort of like that. But the antennas will be DXCC antennas, the Alpha Delta DXCC. I think there might be an off-center fed dipole. There'll be some resonant dipoles. There'll be the vertical. Jason, you're bringing your buddy pole, right?
Yep.
Bringing a buddy pole, and there'll be some classic inverted Vs. Some of them will be in use, some of them won't. I don't know if anybody's using a half-wave in-fed long-wire antenna. Although, if they don't, last year we set one up so people could play with it, because if this is your chance, folks, look, 37 people are still watching. Wow. That's great. If you haven't seen an MFJ analyzer, if you haven't seen a reg expert, if you haven't seen a Comet, if you haven't seen a Nano VNA, or you don't know what SWR meter is or would like to know, come on down. All that stuff's going to be there. It's going to be a ton of stuff to look at. So if you haven't seen something and are unfamiliar with it, there's a high probability there'll be 991s, there'll be 7300s, there'll be 3610s, there'll be some other model numbers I can't even remember, and they're all nice.
Is Don
radios.
bringing his what is it, the 60?
No, he's bringing the 3610, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be set up for he's going to be doing CW sideband, FT8 and some other junk. I don't even know what he's doing.
One thing I'm looking forward to is I purposely put Chris right next to me because Chris is going to be on the DX Commander. I've heard great things, and then I'm going to be with a more of a horizontal, and so I'm thinking afternoon we'll try to grab the 20 Banby. Could be a better name, but have Chris be able to pull his coax and swap between the two. So, because I always heard that verticals are kind of noisy, but they can hit better DX, and then, dipoles, a little less noise, more directional. So anyways, I'm really just curious to see what real world looks like, because I've never been able to hot swap a vertical to a dipole. And the buddy pole on 20 meters, the configuration I'm running, I am utilizing loading coils just a little bit, but it does tune up typically about 2 to 1 or so, and we'll just touch that up with the internal of Chris. You're bringing your 7300. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I'll bring the 7300. Will be what I'm running.
Good deal.
Now I'm curious, Chris. Are you operating position? Is it from the inside of your RV, or are you setting up on the side of it with a shade tent or something?
It's missionary.
It really depends a little bit on the temperature, I guess. I'm hoping I'll be out under the shade on a table.
That's cool. I was just curious.
That's my intent. But I guess if it was 1,000,000 degrees and we wanted to be in the air conditioning,
you're not old enough to be inside. All right, there's only one guy that typically operates inside, and he's over 60. I understand.
Hey, anyways, some of us resemble those remarks. You know what we found? What we're going to find out that day is what is the best antenna. You know which one it is?
Here we go. The one you're running.
The one that you have that people can hear you.
The one that works.
The one that doesn't matter. You might find out. Man, I accidentally clipped to the barbed wire fence and it works better than my super duper dipole. I mean, who knows? Let's try it and see. It'll be fun.
Now, Kyle, are you going to be available for a live stream? Will you have good internet where you'll be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna go about an hour north of my house to a friend of mine who classmate from high school that we used to be CB buddies.
Ah.
We got our amateur radio license. So, yeah, we're gonna go set up in his garage and work 1E. Or 2E. We're going to be 2E, and he's got some property behind his house, and we're gonna kind of do what you guys are doing, but not on that scale. We got about 5 or 6 antennas that we're all just going to try out, and best antenna wins. But yeah, I'm gonna have internet. Are you guys going to do a live stream out there?
Yeah. So I mentioned this a little bit before in the YouTube creators chat. But I think we're all going to try to link up at some point. I'm guessing I'm probably going to run multiple. A lot of times we like to have an evening live chat, just kind of recap the day. So that'll be our own thing. But somewhere in the afternoon, so it's a good time for everyone going back. Do we have any East Coasters in that group, or I think everyone's like middle of the country?
No, Rob. 741. He's an East Coaster.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And for those that have no clue what I'm saying, so this is the YouTuber, what am I saying here? The YouTubers bunch. So there's a group of ham radio YouTubers out there in the world, and probably Ham Radio 2.0 is the best place to see that, right? He kind of collects everyone for the most part, Kyle.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So there's probably, I don't know what the number is, maybe 8 or 10 of us. It's actually growing, which is way cool. And so we kind of have an inside chat to each other where we are starting to work with each other and, appear and work together. But anyways, so yeah, there'll be something like that, I think, on Field Day. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome to get everyone together and just kind of stream on what your setup is and how many contacts you've made. What's your farthest one that you've contacted? What's the, just accomplishments for the day, and just kind of share your experiences and show the world that ham radio isn't dead and we're having fun with it, right?
Bring your 11-meter friends and show them the other world.
You know, that is 11 meter is a gateway drug into ham radio.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I still have a CB.
You know, we joke that used to be the original social media in high school, right? We'd get on the CB, and we'd figure out where all of our friends are, and then we finally graduated to ham radio. Or a lot of us, some people are still they don't have the CBs anymore, but after I went to college and discovered ham radio and was doing some other stuff, it was game over for that CB stuff.
Oh yeah, because we have repeaters.
Yep. Yeah. Only the farmers where I grew up were on CB, and for me it was getting out here to California, getting involved with some 4-wheel drive clubs. They all had CBs, and I realized, I could sometimes talk to people further than I could throw the radio. I could, pretty much. Well, I could throw the radio further than I could talk to them at times. It felt like so.
Yeah. Is you guys think there's a resurgence? CB's getting popular again? Because I'm noticing, man, there is a ton of not 11 meter, 10 meter radios that you can use on 11 meters, which is true. But man, there's a ton of nice 11 meter radios out there with some cool features. They look good. They sound good. I mean, is that hobby coming back more than we even know? It just seems like they were inundated with CB stuff.
I saw some kids on it the other day. It was kind of interesting. And they're on the big honking ones.
I think what you're possibly noticing, Kevin, is we're going through some very interesting times. For that matter, I recently wanted to add to my small arsenal of another sidearm, and the lines have been out the door every single day at the gun store. It's just crazy. And so if you think about the virus, is that aliens? Who's FT8ing is that? You think about everything that's going on. I think people are, even some coworkers are talking about making bread. Wives are sewing or they're crocheting. Everyone is trying to figure out, wait a minute, if this really gets nuts, how ready am I? And so some people have a distant memory of communicating, of talking. So whether that's an FRS radio or a CB radio, I think in a little bit, when we look back to this time right now, I think we're going to see a huge influx of amateur radio operators being licensed, especially if the league continues for online testing. So I think it's definitely kind of the current time we're going through. It's a bit of a tell of the times.
Yeah, hobbies are definitely up. A friend of mine owns a hobby store, and he says it's basically been Christmas every month during this thing. And if you think about it, until very recently, until summer, you had a lot of people stuck at home. Those who didn't get laid off or dealing with financial struggles or health struggles, they got an extra $1,200 or more in the bank. And so that's probably wound up in some hobby stores and ham radio stores. And so I would definitely see ham radio explode a little bit here with COVID and other things. And I think people are reminiscing. I think you're right. They're reminiscing about CB and other things. You got Stranger Things who, has, right? And the Tim Allen show. What's the show? Help me out.
Last Man Standing.
Yeah, so you've got ham radio showing up in popular culture, and I think that will continue as people start to create new content around COVID. Because right now they can't create a lot of content, right? All the content creators are stuck at home and trying to find out how to work around it. But when content creation returns in a year or whatever, you bet you'll see these themes about hobbies and the crazy things people did. The other theme I'm seeing is the lawn yard, the front yard lawn chair conversations, right? The patio conversations are coming back.
Yeah. I look at it this way. You have two options right now. You either have ham radio or TikTok.
I don't talk to my IMAX. No. I just don't.
Now, how do you mesh ham radio and TikTok? Like that's an art, right?
Well, I'm just saying, people are bored.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people in the world, and there's a lot of TikTokers, right? And there's a lot of ham radio operators.
Well, I just noticed the CB thing even before this. I mean, I get a ton of catalogs and different, did I say catalogs? But some brochures, emails, and man, the distributors are just selling a boatload of 11-meter radios. And some of those 11-meter radios, they're cool. I think they just got some cool. Okay, the lights per dollar are really high.
Hey, maybe they know something we don't. Maybe the conditions are coming back soon, and you'll get skip into Australia again.
You know what's nuts is you go on Craigslist and you see these guys selling like Radio Shack CBs that are 30 years old, and they're trying to get like $300 for them.
Whoa!
It's like,
I know.
I mean, it's crazy, and they must be selling because
for 5 watts. It's a $300 for 5 watts.
Somebody buys them.
At least
I look at it because I keep thinking I'm like, oh, I should have a CB just to have one, right? You know, and but I'm not spending that kind of dough to use one.
Now, can you modify an HF radio? Maybe not a newer one, but couldn't you go in there and? Yeah, Kevin's shaking his head.
Yeah, Sal unofficially, maybe his 7300 could transmit.
Oh, okay. So there's stuff online.
Yeah,
naturally.
Well, if you guys remember Sir Mix-a-Lot, he actually is a big TV guy. Believe it or not, I shared this with some of you guys. He has one of those flex radios, and he has a YouTube channel and everything, and he goes on there, and he's like his name on there is Prime Minister. So if you're ever on CB and you hear Prime Minister, that is Sir Mix-a-Lot, and he builds his own amplifiers, has a flex radio, a YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards.
What's his channel called?
I'll put it in the stream. It's but his name on there is Prime Minister.
Are you saying he got a flex radio to operate 11 meters?
Yeah, it looks to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the rapper Sir Mix-a-Lot, right?
Yeah, that's the guy.
I like my oatmeal lumpy. I once got busy in a burger.
No. Sir Mix-a-Lot, his baby got back, right?
What's this QTH?
He actually is near you. I believe he's in Washington State.
Oh, not near me.
I haven't heard that
near Nick
in years, and I'm not going to elaborate, but I met Sir Mix-a-Lot we did his concert. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Roxanne Shante, and Too Short.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting show, and it was at the Stockton Memorial Auditorium a long time ago.
Kevin,
with the
you
whole
used to party with Too Short is what you're saying.
Pardon me?
Used to party with Too Short.
You did?
You did, obviously, Kevin. You partied with Too Short.
Our company was getting paid to be there, and it's not my thing.
Well, you're an audio guy, so you're good if it's country or rap, right? Audio's audio.
I like both kinds of music, country and western. Yes.
The
That's
thing
great,
about
PC.
CDs that's cool is like everything has got better names, right? Like they don't have, an IC 7000. They have like an amp called like the Donkey Crusher 500.
It's
like
the Dominator.
Great names.
The Dominator. The Penetrator.
Hey, I'm bringing a 1.25 antenna because I figure nobody else is going to want that Frisbee. That thing's going to be like laying on the ground.
Yeah, but how many pills has your 1.25 amp got?
So I did a search on Sir Mix-a-Lot CB radio, and there's a ton of stuff on it.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, I'm trying to find his actual channel because he has an actual channel.
Leave it to Mike.
Amps and everything.
Mike, where was that when we were looking for trivia questions last week?
Well, you were ham radio.
That's not really ham radio, though. He's a famous person that chose to do big time 11 meters. He probably knows my neighbor over here, Bullet Bob, who's got like this absolutely beautiful tower with this gargantuan 11-meter antenna.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the Great Wall of China. You can see it from Google Maps.
It's and his equipment is immaculate. Better than most ham stations. Beautiful. Some of the stuff I left there going.
A lot of LEDs.
So that's all for 5 watts. That's what you're telling me.
Oh yeah. You can only it's only 5 something.
You're gonna plant a tower in the ground for 5 watts.
His antenna is very, very.
What's Scott got? What do you got there, Scott?
Are you running restricted? My kid's trying to view our stream, and it's running restricted. Yes, this video is unavailable with restricted mode. I have to turn a restricted mode off.
Well, that's because I selected this video is not for kids.
Yeah, you have to fall under the COPPA thing or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I could say it's for kids, but that means that what we're doing caters towards children, and I mean, maybe they're
it creates a legal problem for you.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
If someone curses slightly, it also, you know what it also does? It hurts your ad revenue.
Yeah, it
hurts your bottom line.
Your ad revenue goes down.
This is a family radio channel, though.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah, with the occasional, adult humor.
Yeah. I mean, we do okay though.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
I'd like to think we've done great. Not just tonight, all the time.
But see, what it is it's this channel. Because
if you go to the Northwest Ham Shack, on the other hand, where we had we had women showing up there who were questionable in their activities.
that was my fault.
It's a little crazy up north. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I just figured, I'm like, hey, this isn't my channel. I can just act a fool. So Kyle, what's going on is I did a camping trip, and recently Nick here in the chat, he's got that logo. NW Ham Shack. He's brand new into YouTube. He kept talking about it, and finally I said, "Hey Nick, I need to go on a camping trip. How about you start that YouTube channel?" and he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, you got a week, and you can still keep the Wednesday show going." And so, anyways, he did. He's doing a great job. Fantastic. So I checked in on my phone while camping, and yeah, I just kind of I didn't act as mature. But it was fun.
Was that the same camping trip where the
that was the same night. That was the same. So
hey, sometimes you just gotta have blowout weekends.
We had like 60 oysters and I think a keg. I don't even know.
I think you got to invite the girls to field day. I mean, they're part of the gang now.
Yeah, they were playing bongo drums. Oh, it was fun. Yep. Yeah, so check out Nick's channel if you want a good laugh. And by the way, Chris and Nick, I've been catching up on last week's because work had me there late. And awesome job on that trivia. I mean, we need to do that, I don't know, once a month or something. I mean, that was way cool.
I agree.
Is that you? Who's coming through with that? Who's FT8ing?
Oh, you know what? I am sorry.
At first, I thought it was.
Now?
Yeah, it's gone.
Ham Shack.
I thought it was Scott, but I'm like, Scott's muted. I was like, wait, who is FT8ing?
No, it's not me. Mine's quiet. I can't stand.
I
that
have
crap.
zero control over myself. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
There is. I mean, 20 meters is just going nuts right now. There's people everywhere. So.
It sounds like a cat dying. I can't stand that sound.
It actually, I've learned to love it. I've learned to enjoy it and embrace it for what it is.
Scott, I'm thinking you need to go ahead and turn that on loud and then leave for work for your wife that loves radio.
Yeah, and just go. No, I was trying to show that to her, and she just looked at me like and then turned around and walked away. She didn't want anything to do with it.
Now, let me ask you this. Does anybody else's spouse or partner walk through the shack or what have you and just go and I'm like, what's your problem? It's because I'm sitting over here twirling the HF, and of course I'm fine with it, but other people are like, how can you just listen to that static?
Yeah.
I try to work it in slowly, like quietly for a little while. Turn it up a little bit more.
I do the same thing in my truck. When I have everybody in my truck, I'll start it out real low and keep, and then I'll just slowly keep turning it up. Pretty soon I'm talking.
So you have to understand the household I grew up in. My dad was a telecommunications sergeant for the state police, and so I grew up in a home full of radios and scanners, and so every room had a scanner on, and probably had more than one scanner, and every vehicle had several scanners. Scanners were just everywhere, as loud as can be. He wore scanners. He still does carry them on his back pocket as he walks around the house. They're everywhere. They're on all the time. You can't escape it. So, I'm used to it, but the rest of my family, they're not used to that. So, I have 2 radios, and I try to keep them on a little bit, but they can't.
Having one scanner is silly. You've got to have at least 3 going at one time, right?
Well, now they're pretty much useless because of all the, changes in the radios.
Well, I don't know about
it.
We're pretty lucky because we got the East Bay Regional Communication System is still all digitally accessible. So we've got everything over here still pretty easy to listen to on digital. So you grab one of these Unidens that's got all that stuff programmed in and put your zip code in, and you're off to the races.
They're pricey though. I mean, like $600, $700, $800.
Ridiculously crazy prices.
So you got Broadcastify. That's all I can go to.
Hey, I'm curious with a Flex radio. So you're talking via the internet to the radio source, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So would that technically be considered like a digital mode for the course of a contest or something, or would that still be considered phone?
No, it's still phone. It's whatever is radiating out of your antenna.
Got it.
Yep. So it's still, I mean, so do you consider DMR well, that's a bad example. I was about ready to answer my own question there. Let's take AllStar.
Okay.
So AllStar to AllStar is voice over IP, right? And it's all ones and zeros. But you got to get out of the AllStar network somehow. So whenever people talk about AllStar, they talk about, it's an RF based system, right? Well, yes and no. You got to get RF into the antenna of your base station of your AllStar node, and then it goes out to the internet via ones and zeros, and then it gets converted back into RF.
Right.
So there's no, in the contest world, there's nothing that says there are some circles that are poo-pooed against remote radio. You get these guys who literally buy acres of land in the most northeastern part of Maine, right? And you get people from all over America connecting to those stations. And then you get like K3LR and K9CT and N1 Tango, or K1TTT, and these big contest stations. And they're like, wait a minute, that's not fair. You can't do that. Like, I'm trying to broadcast my signal into Europe from the Midwest, and it's not going anywhere. I'm not. That's no fair. Well, you know what? Everyone has the ability to go buy land in Maine and put up a tower and a farm and connect from St. Louis and say, hey, I'm transmitting from Maine. Who cares if I'm transmitting or I'm setting in St. Louis? My transmitter is in Maine, right? So Flex Radio and the remote community have kind of changed the way that we operate from the extreme of people in nursing homes can now get on the radio, and it doesn't have to be a tower farm in Maine. It can be your club station, where now you have the ability to have your members who might be disabled or in a nursing home or in an HOA or whatnot. Now you're able to bring radio into their life on operating remotely.
Yeah,
and I think it's great. I think that we need more people like Flex, and ICOM does that with their remote software, that we're innovating ham radio, because that's what makes it relevant. What is the word I'm looking for? Relevant, thank you. Makes it relevant and makes it cool that there's technology out there and we're just not doing the same thing over and over and over,
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that I can understand from like the purist perspective how that could create, some animosity towards the people that are functioning the radios that way. And maybe in the future there will be some sort of designation between remote versus non-remote. Who knows what the future will hold as far as that goes. But I, as well as a lot of people that, you know, are kind of involved in this anti-net and all of these proceedings, we're big supporters of, you know, anything that just gets people on the air, anything that really draws more light to the ham radio community. And that's one of the things that that's a really interesting thing. I'm going to have to go sell 3 vehicles and take out a couple loans and get one of these things.
So,
but
you know,
even an HT and a hotspot. I mean, I know a lot of guys are going to say, you know, that's digital and all that, but you know, we're lucky in the Bay Area here. We've got 375,000 repeaters we can hit, you know, and most of them aren't getting used on any given day. But if you go like, you know, a lot of other parts of the country, guys don't have repeaters like that to hit, right? And they're, you know, the simplex options are limited. So a guy that's able to set himself up a hotspot and talk to a guy in England, you know, from Indiana, it's pretty cool. I don't care whether it's digital or ham, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's from a contest perspective. I think what Kyle and Nick, you weren't saying this, but from a contest perspective, there are those who believe that the remote systems give one person advantage over the other. And I think the rules, and if we dig into it, Jason knows a little more about this than I do. If you have
got a funny story.
I'm going to make an example, and not of Jason, because
you can make my example.
I'm teasing, but if you have let's say you're transmitting from your home, and you are in control of a remote receiver. That's how much there's a maximum distance that receiver can be from your control operating point. So if I'm transmitting on a frequency on 80 meters and my remote control receiver is on my property 1,000 miles away or whatever, and I can hear everybody and everybody's hearing me, but that is not, they won't let you do that. But if that transceiver, like Kyle was explaining, is on your property 500 miles away, and you are remote controlling and are the control operator of the transmit and the receive from the same location, that's different. It's okay. It's okay to do. You can't have a remote transmitter someplace up on a hill with a gargantuan rhombic with the remote controlled transmitter, and then you're back at your house controlling that, and then have a receiver like using an SDR receiver on the coast to go, okay, I'm going to use the SDR receiver. I'm going to use my remote transmitter that's on my property with my rhombic. No, they won't let you do that. But if your system is on your property with your rhombic and you are the only one that can control it, you're the control operator, and you're transmitting and receiving from the same location, that makes it okay because that is your station. It's kind of confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, so here is my example. So this was in June. This was in 2019. I got an email from Bart there at the league, the ARRL league. Hello, Jason. A viewer passed along to the ARRL your March 2019 video depicting your participation in the ARRL 2019 DX contests single sideband. Overall, the videos are very instructional and informative. So I set out and I did a fun live, it was a recorded video, edited it. I thought it was pretty good, pretty smooth, and I just talked about ham radio, HF, contesting, how exciting it can be, etc. And I just kind of showed the different tools you have out there to use, one of being a web SDR. So we've got Half Moon Bay out here, which is a great receiver. So, this guy, he's complimenting me. And then he says, however, the viewer was concerned about the use of a remote receiver, Half Moon Bay, during the contest. Just as a reminder, during an ARRL and most other contests, all contacts must be made using a transmitter and receiver that are both located within a 500-meter diameter circle. So again, the transmitter and the receiver have to be both together within a 500-meter circle. So for awards or contesting, remote receivers outside of that may not be used. Yes, you can use the remote receiver to find stations or casually listen, but not to contest. And then they're very persistent. Please advise if this contest log entry used a remote receiver for any logged QSOs. And so we kind of went back and forth a bit, and not to get down a rabbit hole, but I took the video down because he got this guy Bart, his name's Bart, W9JJ, got several complaints, he said, and he's like, you need to resubmit your log. And I think I had 20 entries. I was nowhere near close to winning. But he was following the rules, and whoever out there in YouTube land ratted me out. So it's real. Don't use that. Although don't use that and make a YouTube video. So there's your lesson.
I like how he used the sandwich effect. He started off with a compliment.
Right.
Really dug into you.
Establishing rapport.
Yeah. Really getting on your good side first.
Do you guys think, here, I'm going to throw this question out. So, all the rage now, I don't know if it's all the rage, but kids love to stream, right? And they're on Twitch, they're on DLive, they're on Mixer, they're on all of these streaming platforms, right? I think, in order for us to get the hobby people, the people that are in this hobby, to get more people enthused about ham radio, especially the young generation, is, contesting is fun. It is short, quick contacts. It doesn't take, it takes a lot of time, but you can catch on pretty quickly, and you can have, just basically, a old radio, whatever antenna you got up, the best antenna you got is the one that you're transmitting out of right now. Stream it on YouTube, stream it on Mixer, stream it on Twitch. And I think that there should be a classification in the contest that allows people to stream their contest to get more people involved, to say, they're clicking around on Twitch and saying, what's that guy doing?
Yeah, you get points. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and you're all in a same class, and you're all streamers, and you're all doing the streaming thing. And so let's not compete against the big guns. Let's not compete against the Joes down the street who really want to do well in the contest and complains about Jason's radio. So what? Put us in a whole new category, so you don't have to complain. You can complain all you want and say, well, guess what? They're not even competing in the same category as you. You can, they're in a streaming category.
Yeah, I really wasn't there to win. I just wanted to sit down for a few hours, have some fun, and I'm still I was licensed in 2016, so I'm still kind of dialing in my HF station as far as getting the RFI out, getting a low noise floor. I still haven't really properly sniffed my house or shut the power off, even though I suggest that to people. And so it's kind of nice to be able to put your ears on a web SDR. And, my two favorite are out here, both here at Half Moon Bay as well as the one in Utah. Do you have any good ones out there by you? Or I guess you have your Flex. How cool is that?
Yeah, but there's still, so one of the issues I have with my Flex is my parents just got a new heat pump in their house, and every 18 kilohertz there's a new stripe. So and you look up that York heat pump, and sure enough, all ham radio, all the ham radio people have come out of the woodwork with that heat pump. But I think that there should be some type of category where it's like no holds barred. It's like, ham radio steel cage match, where you can use any way that you can get a contact, and it's just a free for all, and just let everyone go, right? If you want to use an SDR, use an SDR. You want to stream your contest, stream your contest. If you want to call your friend up and say, hey, I need you to get on the radio so I can get this grid, get that grid. It's just, it's just steel cage match, the octagon.
I like it. It sounds like the words of a guy who just wants to get out and have a little bit of fun.
I just want to have fun. I just want to see how much I can push the envelope. You know,
little 11 meter to me, buddy. You know,
yeah, let's do 11-meter contest.
Hey, by the way, sharing here on the YouTube. So Mike, I believe, found Skull Kraka, SKULL Skull, and then Kraka, CRACKA. Mike, are you there? You believe this is him?
No, it's him. It's definitely him. I've watched some of his videos. It's him. It's pretty cool. He's up in near. I think he's near Tacoma.
Okay.
Area, so not too far from. I know Washington's a big state, but closer to you than he is to the rest of us.
All right,
I'm subscribing. That's all.
Yeah,
there is.
I subscribe. He's got 930 subscribers, so he's not doing. You know what? He probably just doesn't want that kind of fame there.
I'm gonna email him and maybe he'll
invite him.
Attach some of my videos onto the end of his.
That would actually
bring him into this group.
Yeah.
We talked to him here.
You know what?
Let's do a CB night and let's bring him on. Come
he was
on.
a ham radio operator. He used to have a call sign, but he let it lapse. He just didn't have fun with it, I guess. So maybe we can get him back into it.
I'm gonna see if I can help him get his ticket again.
I'm thinking we could all use some fresh bumper music, you know, for the channels. And if he signs off, what copyright? We're ham buds.
Did you see the link that I dropped in for the chat with Reddit? It said TIL. So today I learned that Sir Mix-a-Lot is heavily into amateur radio and CB shootout competitions. He not only takes part in CB keydown competitions, but he also raps about them under the alias Prime Minister.
We're gonna blow him up.
Wow. What are CB keydown competitions?
You can ask my friend Jeff, who lives by this guy. Apparently, it destroys all the TVs and stereos in your house. You know, because he lives right behind this dude, and yeah, and they hear him a lot.
What was Green Donkey's first channel? Does anyone know? His first.
I think it was 2 Meter Crew, wasn't it?
No, he had a CB channel before he even became a ham.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that.
What does that mean? You have a YouTube CB channel, or
yes,
claimed a CB channel?
No, so we got a guy. His name's Derek, and he goes by the handle Green Donkey.
Okay, I've heard of that. Heard of him. That person, yes.
Anyways, he's a really fun character. But he started out going on top. We've got a local mountain. It's about 4,000 feet. But what really makes it magical is it's 4,000 feet around sea level. I mean, you know, where we're at, Northern California, that's pretty much the highest thing other than going up to Tahoe, which you're getting into Reno there. But anyways, he would go up on top of Mount Diablo, the Devil's Mountain, and get on his CB. And that's kind of how I met Derek. You know, actually, well, I met him when he got his call for 2 meters. But yeah, he was going up there. I'm trying to remember what that channel was.
But when he was on top of Diablo,
I'm gonna text him. I'll ask him
on a CB radio. Could you hear him in Vacaville, or did it just skip over the top of you?
Well, I haven't had a CB working since 2015. Nah, 2013. I don't know.
Oh, Salvador in the chat says CB shootouts are when you line up 2 stations and you try and talk over one another.
No, that sounds about right. Hey, Chris, are you share a link to Sal if he wants to join us?
Is that called organized jamming?
No, so that's what that's all you would hear up on Mount Diablo is a bunch of CBers just trying to crush each other.
I remember as a kid at the Shakey's Pizza, they had CB club night. And remember the dual 102-inch whips on the back of the cars? The old story is somebody that had amplifiers in their trunks. They backed up the cars close to each other, and one guy turned his radio off, and the other guy cranked it to see if he could still hear him in the speaker in the other car. Now, not very scientific, kind of goofy, but I'm thinking they actually did that. You know, keep backing your car closer and closer till there's enough energy that something gets rectified, and I just hear it through the speaker. I don't know.
That's absolutely possible. I used to work at Sonic Drive-In, and I had a CB in my truck, and if I key up all the little stands, all the stalls you would go into the order would you could hear me over. So that's absolutely possible.
It was you. Okay.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, I think it's funny. I found it. My daughter has a little sound machine up in her room, and it plays like white noise or whatever while they're falling asleep. And a few days ago, I moved my antenna, so it's kind of over the top of her room right now.
Oh yeah.
And my RF energy was radiating into the speaker of that, and it freaked her out. Like she was going, she could hear me talking, in her room, and so my wife came down and politely asked me to fix that. So I've been working on running a bunch of stuff to try to fix it.
Well, Skullcracker is running remote software with his CBs. He's running off the software-based deal. It's pretty cool. He's got some videos on it. I'm hooked on his channel now.
Is that the East Coast 5.8 video you're watching?
Yeah, I think so. He's got a bunch of them. If you go into his video section, more towards the beginning.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah, that's an old Flex. I think that's a Flex 5000. That's the predecessor to the 6000 series. But
dude, that's got to be the most serious CB rig ever.
Can you just imagine?
So are you guys seeing this?
I'm seeing it on the Zoom. Yeah.
Is this old donkey stuff?
This is So here he is. This is the original green donkey. So it's called Global Mobile 1. And so let me just try to get a sample real quick. I think it should play.
Daddy Wampum, Mr. Mobile.
0, we're back.
You found me back down here on Channel 17. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, one of your buddy was still looking for you on the other one, but you were quiet, so I came back over here just to get listen.
Yours, I'm getting the heck out of your way. Have some fun up there, and I'm going to go back to what I'm doing.
No conditions. Taking his mouth. You doing up?
Hello there, Channel 17, Golf Mike 01, the Global Mobile Mount Diablo. Hello.
Was not
get in one more time and go, boom! Uh-oh, did I do that?
Yeah, so anyways, it's just like organized chaos.
It sounds like the 3.3.
It does. It sounds like the 3.3.
It sounds like they're proud of their distortion. I mean, that's just loud and distorted.
Yeah.
Is that Renegade repeater down in LA?
So it's probably like the light version. I mean, LA definitely has this beat for population, but its little brother would be the K6 POU up here.
Oh, is that streaming?
It is streaming on Broadcastify out of my shack. It's not the it's not the best audio. It's more of an experiment. It seems to be working.
What's the call sign?
K6 POU.
POU.
Yeah,
okay.
POU. So whatever your app
take
is,
a listen.
It should be there. You know what though? It's been fairly clean. There's only I don't know. It just if anything, I'm really impressed with how many KM and KN6 calls. And so if you're not from out here in 6 land, a KM6, which is or a KN6, they're going to be licensed in the last 4 years, 5 years or less. And there is a ton that's been flooding that repeater, which I think is just awesome.
Sometimes it takes a little Renegade repeater to get people sparked,
Yeah, but the cool guys are here, okay? It's just right here.
Well, the funny thing is when I was trying to, or when I was like getting into thinking about ham, like researching it, like it was the 3.3 that I was like listening to that I was like, oh, look, there must be repeaters like this that go 24 hours a day everywhere. There's just going to be hams all over the country talking on these repeaters that with all day long, and I didn't realize that it's a bit of an exception to be that busy. But it was a good thing because it did get me hooked, right? Like I stalked these guys for a couple of months before I got my license.
You are so right, Chris, about the activity. My son lives in Fort Worth, Texas, and over there they got a lot of repeaters. They compared to this repeater, the 547 and 330, they're dead. I mean, they literally, we've had folks coming in on AllStar going, man, yeah, we listen to your repeater because ours, there's like 2 guys in the morning going home, same 2 guys going to work and coming home from work. You know,
it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing as up here. The repeater systems up here are there's 100 repeaters within earshot of my shack, and I could probably count maybe 3 that are active sometimes.
But is there clubs though tied to those repeaters?
There is one down in Seattle. There's a club tied to that, the Puget Sound Repeater Group. There's a lot of linked repeater systems and stuff, but there's just not a lot of traffic. There's a lot of simplex traffic, but yeah, nothing has beat Northern California. I mean, I constantly leave my radio just hooked up to my AllStar node and listen to VVR because there's more traffic on that than anywhere up here.
Nick, that's all we like to get to, all because of Jason.
Nick is dying to get an AllStar that's connected to 3.3.
Just because
I
Kevin
know.
built AllStar nodes.
But it'd be a bit of a pirate because Wendell, the repeater owner, he's not into any of it. For that matter, he didn't even want to have any kind of gathering on his repeater. I mean, that's how we kind of got here for sure.
Yeah, but AllStar is different. It's not linked. It's not. I mean, it's RF. It's all RF on that end. You know.
Well, you could glitch it out though.
You could make it a private link. You could set it up to where it's just if you wanted to listen to it, you know, somebody could build you a node here, put it on the AllStar, point it at you at a separate AllStar node, and that's all it is. It's point to point. You don't have to open it up to the planet.
No, yeah, you can shut it down. Sometimes I'll shut mine down if I have like a stray person stuck on it. Mike does the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
You can close off open links or in whatever. you want
but
to
you could, if you wanted the POU thing, you could have one up here, and you could just have a second node that's all it does. See, that's what's so cool about AllStar. See, IRLP you can point them to each other and you can point them to reflectors, but you can't do what we're doing.
Right.
It's just, this is such a cool thing, and we have Mike to help us, so we're cool. So when Mike moves, you got to give us your new phone number.
Yeah, because I mean that's what kind of started me on 3.3 is where I work. You know, I work right, very close proximity to that mountain, that repeater, and I mean I'm inside a metal shop. I'm in the bathroom. Wherever I got a HT in my shirt pocket, and that repeater is just banging in.
What's funny about that, I'm up in Sacramento. I can see Mount Diablo.
Yeah.
I can almost see Mount Vaca. But who can I hear?
Mount Vaca. Oh, well, I can tell you why. Is because the PA or what have you, it's running reduced power. Galaxy S10. Could this be Sal? The one and only?
I work in the Faraday cage, and I can't hear anything. So without the AllStar link where I can just log in with my phone and listen, I would be completely dead during the day. So it's nice to have that.
It is a cool system. I was driving down the road the other day introducing a guy to our club and our stuff, and I could hear him great on 2 meters, and I switched over to 440, and just for the heck of it, I'll go to the DV switch. I popped on the DV switch, and he lives in Napa, so I think we got another person from Napa that might be trekking over here to check it out, because we are famous in our own zip code.
We might have 3 zip codes.
We might be, we might be well known in 3 zip codes. I'm not sure.
Vacaville has 2 zip codes. I don't know how many Fairfield has.
Fairfield has 2.
Oh, that's 4, and we're growing.
Well, you could count Vacaville having 3 zip codes because the base touches Vacaville.
Wow.
Yeah, the base is in Fairfield though. So.
We're kind of famous then, aren't we? And still 35 people appear to be watching. So
where's Sal? I don't see Sal.
I thought he was the Galaxy 500 dude.
Okay, here we go. I'm pushing admit. I'm looking up here. You know, I got this chair.
There he is.
Hey, you got a license for those guns?
He doesn't have audio going yet.
Yeah, I see that.
Audio. You can't hear those good jokes.
Those dad jokes.
I think he hears.
I'm sure he can hear it. It's just delayed. It's on YouTube
Make sure you
right
mute
now.
the YouTube before you start.
Yeah, we better tell him to mute the YouTube.
I'll hover the mute button on him. Let's see. Connecting to audio. I like all the guitars. I didn't know he was a musician.
Yeah, he can rock out, dude.
Man, I've been trying to learn to play the drums for the last year. I'm not getting too far.
We can get a band going here.
That's what I'm saying, the 2-meter crew.
Yeah, but
Kevin, what can you play?
The CD player.
Not reel to reel.
Sounds like a lead singer to me.
Kevin can run the sound, right?
Right?
Absolutely. That is what Kevin does. Yeah, Kyle. So actually, Kyle, you've asked a few times about some of my setup. And so Kevin here is definitely my Elmer, my mentor. I started showing up to meetings, the club meetings, with a video camera like, hey, guys, I want to record this. And, all I was capturing was just room audio, a lot of guys coughing and sneezing. And then Kevin's like, hey, should we do some audio stuff? I'm like, oh, what do you got in mind? Next meeting, he had crates.
Yeah, here, kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, he's taught me. And what's interesting is audio, I think, is just so fascinating because it just goes hand on hand with our hobby. I mean, what do we always say? Hey, how do I sound? Right? I mean, not only do we want strong RF power, but we want a good microphone. We want that bassy sound. And it's unfortunate that I never really smoked enough to get a good radio, that good. Like Chris, have you ever smoked?
Yeah, I worked in a shipyard for a lot of years, so.
Yeah. I definitely always compliment Chris's voice.
Chris has got a radio voice, that's for sure.
And a face for radio, too, is what my mom says.
Well, I just want to comment, if Kyle, I'm going to say this as politely as I can. When you come on to the YouTube channel on our event in about a week, could you bring out your crappy microphone? Because we'd like to have the best microphone on TV that day. So if you don't mind,
you want me to get my Fisher Price?
Or put duct tape on it or something.
If you need to borrow a crappy microphone, I'll send you mine.
You know what?
With the gold?
The dude, Nick sounds really good. I'm actually I don't have a camera. I loaned my other camera out. I'd show you. I'm listening to a JBL AllStar 8, the powered reference monitor for the studio.
Where'd Sal go?
And you guys sound you guys sound really good. I mean,
you can take a $50 microphone, and if you have some good preamps and a good EQ, you could make it sound pretty good.
You can make it sound. The thing is, and I can't tell Jason this directly, so he can't be listening. He just sounds good by himself. So we put a microphone in front of him and EQ it a little bit. He's Mr. He's like Howard Stern Jr. It's like there he is. So for that, I hate him. So
well,
there you go.
The biggest thing I've been struggling, and Kyle, I don't know about you. What do you do for compression? How do you control your levels?
So I do it in. Well, I have got a DBX outboard compressor here that I run.
To say, ooh.
That I run. So I run it out of my mixer into my compressor and then back in. I'm a musician. That's not what I do for my day job. But I've been a musician for 35 years.
Is it a 166 or a 266?
It's a 266 XL.
Oh well, Jason
is another member for the ham band.
Yep,
I'm on
putting together. Sal, do you got audio now?
Yeah, I can hear everything now. Finally.
Hey.
Sal, what can you play? I see guitars. Is that just for looks?
I play a couple songs, just basic chords.
And hey, do you got a license for those guns? Good to see you, man. Actually, this is the first time Sal and I have seen each other, I think. Well, he might have checked out a couple of my videos, so I guess I'm out there. But Sal and I talk every morning when I'm in my cage and not on the motorcycle, but the weather's been so great. We both go to work at 5 a.m. It's craziness.
And you guys are nuts. But I do want to comment, though. Sal and Chris came on HF last week. I think it was a Tuesday night or I don't remember anymore.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And you guys sounded really good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think I was running QRP that night at about 600 watts.
QRP.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
Sal
I think I
got
was
his stuff
QRP.
hooked up, and you guys sounded really good. Not as almost as good as Jason. Really close.
You know what we missed out on today was a chance. We should have talked a little about the Elmers that are going to be available there, like years experience, cumulative. If you add up the guys that have been around for a while, like I'm a year, Jason's 10, and then you add like Kevin on, and we're at 420. And then add some of these other guys, and it adds up quick.
Can you guys get a count when you get everybody there? You totally should.
Years, because there's going to be some real experienced dudes there, right?
Yeah. There's a couple guys that I don't think Bruce is going to be there.
Yeah.
I think, and Bruce is really smart. But there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of experience. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be a lot of people there. Trying to think who else has a lot of radio experience going to show up.
I think I hear Bridget. I want to say hi, Bridget.
Hi.
Hey.
You should let her do all the talking, Sal. She has a better radio voice.
I know. Sal's always like, "How do I sound? How do I sound on this mic?" I'm like, "Not as good as Bridget does."
I know. I can't let my Dolores talk or anybody see her because first of all they go, "Why are you married to him?" And you sound better, and then I don't get to.
Well,
they get to talk.
They think she's your daughter.
I know.
They ask you that on introductions, huh?
I know. I actually, my wife and my daughter, they both look like. Anyways, I am the ugly duckling, and there's the proof.
You should.
That's what you're saying when you're dating and you're a ham, right? It's the second to last thing you reveal to that girl that you really like. One is, I'm a ham radio operator, and I spent the last 5 years in prison. Right? Like those are the last two things you tell her before you try to close the deal.
With Dolores, she, it was full disclosure. I've known her since she was 8 or 9 years old. We kind of grew up in the same area, and she knew exactly how weird I was. So I'm very lucky. I mean, she's letting us have field day in our backyard. I mean, how much better can it get? And she's gonna help make lunch. So I don't know.
That's where I messed up, actually. So I met my wife, and I was riding a motorcycle. So she's way supportive of the motorcycle. But when I met my wife, I wasn't hanging out with like great amateur radio operators.
Old guys in flannel shirts talking on HTs.
You know what? My wife was happy when she met a few normal people within the community here, because she thought for sure, obviously, everyone was at home in their undies.
We're not all that bad.
All right, time check, Jason. Are we doing a full marathon? Are we going to break the 3-hour mark tonight, or we got a limit set, or what are we doing?
I don't know. Sal, you working tomorrow? You calling in sick?
I'll be going, man, but it's my Friday.
Ooh, that's nice. No, I gotta work too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know what? We should end on a high note. Well, let's pass it around to a few people. Bert, what's going on with you, man? You coming out to see us? It's in your backyard for field day.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. I am definitely gonna be there.
Right on, man.
My wife asked me, is like, so if you're going, what about these two girls right here? I was like, I'm bringing them.
Yeah.
I'm bringing them.
I don't know. What are your kids' age again?
The twins are 9.
Okay. I'm asking my wife to come around lunch, so I'd like to think a few kids will be there. How about you, Mike? Is any of your kids going to show up?
No, they're definitely not going to show up. So my son, he's 2. He would be just destroying and pushing over all the antennas that we took hours to set up, and then my daughter, she's happy with her iPad, so I'll let her stay at home.
Very cool. Well, Bert, what else is going on, man? You got any questions or ideas or thoughts for us?
I actually wanted to ask Kevin, is like, are you going to be selling any of those things you hook up to the mixer, or those
We can talk. Yeah, when you're here, we could talk about that. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm gonna also want to learn about some of the SWRs that you put up like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I grabbed like 2 of them off of eBay.
Bring what you want and all that stuff. The meters. I mean, I wasn't kidding earlier. There's going to be a lot of different stuff to look at. You know, everything with the stuff that I have, plus the stuff that all the other members have. So, yeah, come on over. And if you want, and that's what I encourage people to do. If you're not going to operate, you want to come hang out. We do have shore power, so we'll be a little table, and under one of the tents. And if you want to work on a connector and get some help from somebody, I mean that's okay to do too. That's part of the learning process. You come to field day, you check it out, and if you got something you want to cable you want to make or learn how to do power poles or something like that, there'll be someone there to help you do that. I'm not going to operate. I just hang out and eat hamburgers and talk to people. So,
sounds like a good time.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do.
It's going to be great.
All right. And then Mike, you're going to be our kitchen guy. What you're doing, what are you going to do? Some digital?
Yeah, I'm helping Frank cook some stuff. Whatever he needs. We're actually having a Zoom meeting on Friday to figure out all the logistics of it. And then, I'm doing 6-meter handheld. You know, I'm trying to use one of the antennas that Kevin gave me, see how that works out. And then 2-meter, 70 centimeter. I got DMR, so I'll try the digital with that. And then I've got the crazy 1.25 meter that Chris was like, "Ooh, who's gonna take that?" I've got that on my truck. I'll test it out. We'll see how that works.
You want to do 6?
Mostly just having fun. You know, I just want to have fun, hang out with everybody. You know, cook some food, swap some stories, and make some contact. It's a good time.
I feel like this is technology from what's the Black Panther? Where's that city in Black Panther?
No, Tron.
Or Tron. Yeah, it's like crazy, like translucent technology. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Mike, for helping with food. You helped with Winter Field Day for food. I feel slightly bad.
No, I mean, you said you were always organizing, and I grew up. My grandparents owned a restaurant, and when I got a couple different jobs in high school, I was cooking and stuff. So it's fun. My wife cooks a lot at home. I do a lot of the grill stuff. So anything outside, I like grilling. So it should be okay.
I have a question, and it's probably because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Answer is 47.
Answer's 47. Okay. It says watching streaming hours. It says 2 hours ago. It was longer than that. And I've refreshed the screen 3 times, and it still says 2 hours ago.
Well, YouTube's a little busy right now canceling people. Because they're not.
So their clock is off.
They're not conforming to. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But Scott, you were saying you're going to be shackled to the bed. What do you got going on for Field Day?
I don't know what's going on. We're still trying to figure out birthday plans for the wife.
It's a birthday, not an anniversary?
It's not an anniversary.
Is it like
that's late August?
What kind of birthday? Is it like a 38 birthday?
No,
it's not like
it's the big 40.
Oh, there is no escaping this year, my friend.
There's nothing like a field day event to make you feel young.
I was going to say, the surprise of all surprises. Honey, we're going to Ham Radio Field. Don't even tell her. Just drive here.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can squeeze out like a Sunday morning or something. I don't know. We'll see.
My wife and I, we're a year and a half away from 40, but from what I understand, women don't do well with 40. They think that's just like, whew.
And imagine in a COVID situation, she had Disneyland, she had family reunion, she had camping all lined up back to back, plus Tahoe 4th of July. So 4 big events all back to back, and of course they're all canceled. So.
Yeah. Do you need me to?
Disney last week, so I hear you.
Yeah.
Do you need me to send some screwball? Do you know what that is?
I don't think so.
It's a peanut butter flavored whiskey. It makes all your problems go away.
Nick
and look at my nose. It also does this to your nose.
Interrupted me on the screwball. There it is.
The screwball. Wow. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sal knows what's up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They actually sell it at Costco.
He just bought it.
I saw what happened to Jason. None of that stuff is Field Day, please. We're not going down that road.
No skateboards or screwball.
That's funny, you guys. You got your celebrating your 35-year-old, you're 40 years old. Hell, I've been married that long. like literally.
Well, you know, Kevin, they tell me if I wait long enough, I will become old.
Yeah, and if you wait long enough, your wife won't care what you do with ham radio stuff. You just get to do it.
And you know what? I'm slowly building my farm. It wears down on them.
It's still a new hobby in my house, so yeah, there's a lot of working going on there.
Yep. How about you, Nick? What's going on with you, man? I know you're going to be operating from home.
I'm not sure. I'm either going to be at home or there's a couple peaks I'm thinking about. There's one that I can almost drive to the top, but I don't know if the Forest Service roads are open or closed or what. But it's about a 4,200 feet, and that should get my noise floor down. I'm typically sitting at about a 3 to 5 noise floor here at my QTH.
That's nothing, man. That's great.
Yeah.
We got S9 a lot.
Yeah,
around here.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little noisy.
Yeah,
but it's not too bad. I just need to find a way to get my antenna up higher, and I'm on an HOA where I'm not even supposed to have an antenna. Period.
You're an HOA?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Terrible. I don't know.
Can you see those flagpole antennas? Like, dude, like just be super patriotic. Like, what do you do? You don't like America? What's going on here?
Yeah, what's your problem? No, I've got my neighbors are pretty cool about it, and I've got a Comet GP9, which is a 18-foot collinear antenna, and it's sticking up above my roof line, and that works real good for VHF UHF. But my HF game, I've been slowly making progress. I'm running a in-fed half wave right now on 80 meters, and it seems to be working pretty good. My only complaint is digital on 20, so when I get down into the low 14 megahertz range, it doesn't I can't get it to tune with the internal tuner because it's too low in the band. So I need to either cut it different or I need to get an antenna analyzer is what I need.
Yeah, like an MFJ or something for sure.
Yeah.
Well, right on. So Sal, what are your final thoughts? I like to kind of pass it around Knights at the round table here before we close. What's going on with you? I think you and Bridget are coming up, right, for field day?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'm gonna. Chris says, or Kevin says, he's not gonna be be doing too much operating, more socializing. That's probably what I'll be doing myself, is just socializing, meeting people, and maybe having a hamburger or two, and just getting around, checking out the gear. It sounds like a fun time.
Oh yeah. It really is. We don't really go into it that serious. We definitely make some contacts. A few guys will shut them. Well, that one guy actually is not coming this year. He'll shut himself in his RV and he just gets busy and he comes out with like 3 pages of contacts and it's like, holy smokes.
He's hardcore.
Yeah. But, me and a couple other people, we're milling around. We're just socializing. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun for sure.
Awesome. Kyle, what kind of, yeah.
You guys were talking about the shootouts a while, I don't know, half hour ago or whatever. There's a guy in Sassoon. His name is Bullet Bob. I don't know if anyone's heard of him or not, but he kind of coordinates those shootouts. And these guys are running like half inch copper pipes for antennas, and they cut them for 11 meters, and they have classes. Stock power, amplifier power, up to 500 watts, and these guys pull up in their cars right next to each other, and you got a receiving station a quarter mile down or whatever, and they sit there and try to smash each other with their radios.
This is on CB.
That's it, yeah.
What kind of power do you think they're running?
I've never done it. He just told me about it.
Wow, Bullet Bob. Okay, well, we'll have to look for him on the air.
Lots more than 4 or 12 for sideband.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot.
I don't know if you saw those call signs that were on the cover of the Donkeys video there, but there's some good ones.
Yeah.
The Salinas.
Yes, that would be
particularly interesting.
You marked this not kid-friendly, Jason.
Well, yeah. That's why Scott's kid couldn't get in. To see his dad. Dad, I want to see you on YouTube. Sorry, son.
Well, yeah.
There's 11 meters going on here.
I know, yeah. Sorry, they're talking about 11 meters right now. Wait till it's over.
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
I think I'm gonna say thank you, good night, and I hope to see a lot of you, all of y'all at Field Day. And what's left here? We got 28 people still hanging out, I guess. And
We should have 28 people on Zoom. Come on, guys. Next time.
Yeah, Zoom. We get more people on Zoom. It's really fun, and I think this is something that's gonna keep going into the future because I think it's a great deal. It's fun.
All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Kevin.
No, I wanted to. Jason thought I was boycotting him because every time he hosted, I'd skip it. And then every time Nick would host, I'd show up.
Yeah. I thought you were getting rid of me.
It was on accident, brother.
No worries.
Yeah, all right, guys. I'm a jet. Have a wonderful night.
Yeah, we're
Scott,
about to close it down. Let's hear from Kyle real quick. So Kyle, what's coming up with you here in the future? And like I said, for everyone that might have missed it earlier, Kyle also runs a fantastic YouTube channel, so definitely go check his stuff out.
I just subscribed.
Yeah, I saw it. Thank you. I got some videos planned. The COVID-19, I work in healthcare, so you can imagine the COVID-19 is kind of taken over here, and I don't have a lot of time to do YouTube videos. But Field Day, going to go operate, going to try and do some overnight stuff. And, I kind of dabble in everything. So whatever hits my fancy and I want to make a YouTube video on it, I just go ahead and make it. And I'm into contesting. I like to contest, so I do a lot of contesting videos. I'll probably do a video here this weekend on how to set N1MM up for Field Day. I was looking at on YouTube, and there really isn't a current video for how to set up N1MM. So I'm thinking about doing that this weekend, and then also got Dad's Day on Sunday, so I'm gonna go see Dad. So that's about it.
Awesome. Yeah. Recently my local club here, we're talking about, getting out some kind of logger this year. And I was, kind of shocked a little bit how many people that have not started using some kind of computer-based logging program. And so I just, encourage them to go watch some videos. So that would be great to have out there.
Because there's a lot of people in the club that want to operate, but they've never operated a contest before, and they've come and worked Field Day, but it's been at the club.
And they use
We've
paper.
Done all that stuff for them, right?
They do paper. Yep.
So,
exactly.
Anyway.
Well, very good, Kyle. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello to all of us.
Yeah, nice to see everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight.
And we got Chris. I think that's it, right, for the Brady Bunch boxes.
Yeah, I think that'll take us right to the top. No, I don't have much to add. I talked a lot tonight, and just really getting excited for Field Day as well. This got so much ham stuff going on. It just feels like I got 20 projects in the air and enjoying every one of them. So
now, did you buy a new radio today?
Yeah, well, you see, Nick bought Nick, maybe he got it for his birthday or something. You got an FT-70, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I couldn't be left behind.
So you drove to HRO today?
Yeah, I drove to HRO to get one.
They let you in?
I want to have the full digital spectrum in the house. I've got DMR set up. I've got D-Star set up going all the time. So I needed to get something to get into C4.
It's a good little HT. Works good.
I really like it. It feels great in your hand. It's super, and it's $179, I think. I think it's a pretty good HT for that money,
Did they let you in the building, Chris?
I got mine for $160 when it was on sale.
Oh, you had to show off, Bert. Yeah, there you go. They don't let you in the building, and I've got to tell you, I don't like to talk badly, but the whole inventory seems to be off. So anything that you call there and they say it's in stock and it's not, and it's really been going a bit downhill. If Bobby had needed something over there today, I gave him a lift over there. Probably would have just called MTC and had it delivered. So
I have a question about that new radio. I know it's a dual band, but is it a dual watch radio? Can you have both, like the Yaesu, the
FT3DR?
Yeah, like that. It's got a dual screen. You can see both frequencies, and there's a separate volume control. And I know that doesn't have the big display, but can you listen to both bands at the same time?
I'm not sure, Nick. I just got the thing, so I don't know on this one.
It doesn't have dual VFOs.
No,
it does not have dual VFOs.
No dual VFOs. I think it has a dual watch, but it's not dual VFO.
You got
to get higher up. Yeah.
Gotcha.
ICOM's my favorite stuff. You know? I'm a fanboy.
Put that ICOM stuff down.
I'm just curious. I think the 3DR is the one I'm going to get if I
that thing's a killer little HT. It just seemed like a pricey way for me to just add a digital mode. I was looking to get cheap into the digital Yaesu, add it, and not high end. I'm still like ICOM fanboy, so that's where I spend the big money.
Keep in mind that 3D, a couple people have made some complaints about audio quality on it, but there is a couple things that you can do, I guess, to...
Was that the one where you got to remove the rubber bung or add the rubber bung?
Yeah, something like that. Something about its waterproofing somewhere kind of caused some poor audio quality issues, but there's some videos on fixes for that, so...
I need another radio like a hole in the head, so I probably won't get anything.
That's what I said until I bought one.
Until you bought one anyways. I mean, everywhere I reach, there's a radio part. I mean, what's wrong with me? Oh, wait a minute, that's perfectly normal.
Okay, normal.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and joining us. This has been the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net, and I'm Jason here, kind of hosting this KM6FAK, and we'll say 7-3. Everyone else out there, thank you for joining us in Zoom. And I'm going to kill the stream. See you next Wednesday.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, guys.